countless realms outside Spirit Realm had been conquered by the God race in almost just a single night. The news from other races broke out in Spirit Realm like the falling snow. Sky-bearing City barely had a chance to enjoy its peace before things got heated up again. The experts of the Skymender Palace and the G family had immediately rushed to Sky-bearing City after catching wind of the disasters. The forefathers of the 5 remaining gold rank forces, such as Starry Hall, had also sent out their messengers to the Ice Emperor and Qianshan for instructions. Every living being in Spirit Realm had fallen into a state of panic. They were all worried that they would wake up the next day finding the God race's main army marching down towards them. The God race had refrained from killing anyone after taking down the realms outside of Spirit Realm, however. They had simply kept them in captivity. It was almost as if they were waiting for something. Inside the dark halls of Sky-bearing City, Qianxia was sitting quietly on his lonesome with a gloomy look on his face. He had learned of the attack on the ancient beast race the moment the Darkness family and their giant starships had appeared in the airspace of ancient beast realm. He knew because he had stationed an Azura race soul servant in ancient beast realm. That Azura race soul servant had witnessed the descent of the Darkness family's experts and their capture of the 4 beast kings with his own eyes. The entire ancient beast realm had been enveloped in darkness. Even the teleportation formations of ancient beast realm had fallen under the Darkness family's control. After that, the fall of the Wood race, the Sea race, the Black Jail race, the Olden Warm realm and other realms had reached them as well. He also learned that the God race had refrained from killing despite conquering those realms. They had simply kept the denizens there imprisoned. He quickly realized the God race's true intentions. Whoosh! Qianshan's figure suddenly appeared inside the dark hall. He slowly walked toward Qianxia. "Grandpa!" Qianxia looked up and gave him a forced smile. The Qin family isn't capable of fighting the entire God race right now, but the God race can't stop us from protecting ourselves either. We can abandon Spirit Realm and start anew in a new world. Qianshan stared at him deeply. "You don't need to sacrifice yourself for others." "I haven't made up my mind yet," replied Qianxia quietly. "It's not wrong to be a little selfish." Qianshan pondered for a moment before continuing. "The heavy responsibility of defending Spirit Realm shouldn't fall on you. You shouldn't be the one to bear it all either. I heard that Olden Warm realm had fallen as well." Qianxia smiled bitterly. "Our people and our realm experts had left Olden Warm realm some time ago," said Qianshan. "But there are other realms and—" "That is not for you to care," interrupted Qianshan before yelling. "You should leave Sky-bearing City right away. Head to the Frost Desolation Abyss. The God race doesn't have the power to invade all of the outer realms." Boom! It was at this moment a loud explosion happened right above Sky-bearing City. Qianshan's expression abruptly changed. He had been trying to seek out a new artifact soul to replace the cursed progenitor after the latter had been absorbed by the soul-suppressing orb. But Sky-bearing City was no ordinary spirit artifact. To control Sky-bearing City completely, the artifact soul needed to be a Genesis realm expert and a master of spirit diagrams. An artifact soul that didn't fulfill both requirements couldn't control this amazing city completely. Right now, he hadn't found a qualified candidate yet. This meant that Sky-bearing City didn't have an artifact soul right now. A soulless Sky-bearing City couldn't display the true might of its spirit diagrams. The amount of defensive power its walls could muster was limited as well. If the God race chose this moment to invade them, it was unlikely that Sky-bearing City could hold them off for long. Qianshan immediately had a bad feeling when he heard the commotion. "Leave for the Frost Desolation Abyss right away," he told Qianxia. "It's them." Qianxia let out a sigh before saying, "This is something I must face. Maybe I'll be able to run away, and Grandpa can evacuate with the rest of the Qin family members. But the 4 Beast Kings and the martial practitioners in Olden Warm realm and other realms are still in their hands. If I choose to escape to the Frost Desolation Abyss, the God race may very well kill them all in a fit of anger. They won't just destroy Spirit Realm then. They will annihilate every living being and creature that exists in Spirit Realm as well. I know they have the power and the courage to take such an action." After that, Qianxia flew out of the hidden hall and into the streets of Sky-bearing City in an instant. He looked up and saw 7 giant starships at least several kilometers long high up in the sky. Behind them, there was a giant spatial whirlpool that churned like the abyss passageway. A great amount of distorted spatial power was pouring out of it. The violent spatial energy seemed capable of wiping out the tens of millions of souls living in Sky-bearing City in an instant. The 7 giant starships glowed bright and divine under the burning hot sun. It was to the point where anyone who looked at the ships would hurt their eyes. The God Race. The God Race has finally returned to Spirit Realm. They've returned. They've returned. We're dead. Who else can stop the God Race after Sky-bearing City had lost its shield? Let's surrender. Let's all surrender like we did in the past. We may still be able to scrape by if we surrender to them now. The martial practitioners and the artificers that didn't belong to the Qin family immediately collapsed in fear when they saw the 7 giant starships hanging in the air. Even peak Genesis realm experts like the Flame Emperor, the Ice Emperor Jidan and Hua Tianqiong had fallen silent. They knew that they were no match for the God Race right now. We meet again. Han Che of the Profound Ice family descended from the sky and nodded once at the Ice Emperor. Although he hadn't met the Ice Emperor at the Shattered Ice Realm, he was able to sense his presence through his soul perception during the meeting between the Ice Emperor and Pei Dahong. As a bearer of the Profound Ice family bloodline, the Ice Emperor's study of the ultimate truth of Frost had reached such a height that even he had to show him a shred of respect. That was why the Ice Emperor was the first person he greeted when he leaped off his ship. Spirit Realm is seriously the last place I wanted to meet you, said the Ice Emperor stiffly. Han Che thought for a moment before nodding. To tell you the truth, we have no wish to kill everyone in this realm as well. Having said that, he started looking around. Are you looking for me? Declared Qin Lai loudly. Qin Lai leaped to the sky like a cannonball and stopped right next to Han Che and the Ice Emperor. Han Che gave him an admiring smile before pointing at the starship above his head. Let us speak up there. Do I have another choice? Qin Lai looked unbelievably pale when he said this. You do, Han Che said calmly. However, the price of that choice will be the death of every living being in Sky-bearing City, Ancient Beast Realm, and the realms of the sea and wood races, and all the other realms we've conquered at our arrival. Qin Lai immediately flew higher without another word. He didn't even bother to give Han Che a notice. He headed for the 7 giant warships that dominated the vast universe. At a giant starship, the current patriarch of the Blaze family Lian Zhao, Gan Xing, Lu Yang and Wu Xia, Bing Hui and Mia of the Profound Ice family, and finally Zhang Yi and Hao of the Darkness family were all waiting quietly with complicated expressions on their faces. Lian Zhao and Hao exchanged a glance with each other. They both saw the complex emotions in each other's eyes. In the past, a mixed blood was neither important nor especially valued in the God Race. It was because a mixed blood's bloodline was normally impure, and those that did awaken God Race bloodline abilities were rarely able to unleash their abilities' full power. It was why most mixed bloods weren't treated favorably within the God Race. They weren't viewed as true God Race clansmen either. However, for just one Qin Lai, all 5 families of the God Race had mobilized a large number of their forces to invade Spirit Realm. The aim of this large force wasn't even the geocentric motherlode. They wanted Qin Lai to come with them to the God Realm obediently, so they had to give up on Spirit Realm and the geocentric motherlode even though they could have claimed both things with ease. This was something no one dared to imagine in the past, not to mention that Qin Lai was technically a mixed blood. Whatever happened between the rest of you and him, I hope that you all won't show hostility towards him. And Hao, the patriarch of the Darkness family, had a soft and feminine voice. He said in a seemingly casual manner, his very existence is epic-making for our race. He is the catalyst we need to achieve bloodline fusion. If he senses any hostility from you, he may not agree to cooperate with us or acknowledge us from the bottom of his heart, and that will be greatly detrimental to the future plans of our race. And Hao's gaze swept across Mia and Zhang Yi when he said this. Mia smiled and said, I don't really hate him that much. Yes, he tricked me and kept me imprisoned for a time, but he hadn't really hurt me either. She then shot Zhang Yi a sideway glance and taunted. Sister Tsangyi, I heard that you, Mingsu and Hao Jie had all suffered some losses by his hands back at the origin world. Are you sure you won't act irrationally after he comes with us to God Realm? Tsangyi was wearing a mask like usual. Her dark pupils revealed no traces of emotion whatsoever. I can accept anything that benefits our race. I hope he won't be repulsed by our presence, said Lu Yang to Ganxing. He was very worried that Qin Lai would hold a grudge, and that their friendship would be affected because of this. Ganxing shook his head and said reassuringly, "We're not trying to hurt him, are we? He won't." "He's here," said Lian Zhao excitedly. As the current patriarch of the Blaze family, he was aware that Qin Lai would be absorbed into the Blaze family after returning to God Realm. After all, Qin Lai had more Blaze family bloodline in him than any other God race bloodline. The addition of a Blaze family member with the perfect blood into the Blaze family was just the boost they needed to become strong again after 20 millennia of decline. He was very much looking forward to its effects. Moreover, Qin Lai also possessed the Blaze family's flesh-filling tombstone. The Blaze family had had to stop a lot of plans because they were missing their flesh-filling tombstone. They could all be restarted after their sacred relic had returned to them. There was no one who wanted Qin Lai to return to the God race more than him. Swoosh! Qin Lai landed on the ship where most of the God race experts were gathered. Ganxing, Lu Yang, Tsangyi. Ganxing introduced Lian Zhao to Qin Lai. "Qin Lai, he is the current patriarch of the Blaze family." Qin Lai shot Lian Zhao and let out a snort. He didn't greet the patriarch of the Blaze family. Lian Zhao chuckled but didn't get angry with him. He pointed at an Hao before introducing, "He is the patriarch of the Darkness family." Qin Lai still stayed silent. Finally, Han Che of the Profound Ice family had returned from Sky-bearing City and landed beside Qin Lai. And Hao was shrouded in darkness aura and standing at the center of the crowd. He had a handsome but feminine face, and his presence was like an endless enigma that could never be unraveled. Anyone who tried to look Hao in the eye would automatically sink into his natural darkness attribute mental domain. I'll be frank. And Hao clearly didn't want to waste his breath on sophistries. "If you try to hide from us or refuse to return with us to God Realm, we will destroy all living things in Spirit Realm. Wiping out an entire realm isn't very difficult for us. Back then, the reason we haven't slaughtered everyone or taken the geocentric motherlode of Spirit Realm for ourselves was because we thought that keeping Spirit Realm alive was more beneficial to us. We'd rather enslave all living things on Spirit Realm and have them service us and mine spirit materials and ores for us. It'd fit the needs of our race more. But if you refuse to cooperate with us, then we may choose to stop wasting our own time and rob Spirit Realm of its geocentric motherlode directly." "I'll come with you," said Qin Lai solemnly. And Hao nodded and said, "You have made a very wise decision." "Oh really? What will happen to me when I go to God Realm?" asked Qin Lai. "No one will do anything to you." Lian Zhao laughed loudly before continuing. "You are a member of the Blaze family. No one will be able to hurt you for as long as I live." "Your worries are unfounded," said Hao before pondering for a moment. "I can make you a suggestion that will dispel your worries." "What is it?" Qin Lai looked surprised. "If you are willing to come to God Realm with us, we can announce to the world that Spirit Realm is a private realm of the God race. Of course, we won't actually be sending extra troops to garrison this realm, but nominally this realm will belong to you," said Hao slowly. "I don't understand." Qin Lai still didn't know how this would benefit him. And Hao shot a glance at Ganxing, and Ganxing smartly picked up the conversation where Hao left off with a smile. "What this means that Spirit Realm will be fully acknowledged as our realm, and any attempts to invade it will be treated as an affront to the God race. This means that Spirit Realm will be safe from outer realm forces such as the Night Ghosts and weaker races." Qin Lai threw another question. "Is that all? What if the invader is the spirit race like Narsen's faction? What about the soul race?" "We will show up and fight them if only to defend our face," said Hao calmly. "Take Narsen and the two soul race princes' recent attacks on Spirit Realm for instance. The moment we receive news of their movement, we will send someone to solve all the problems. We will ensure that Spirit Realm remains peaceful and free from invaders. Qin Lai's eyes brightened a bit, and Hao's promise was exactly what Spirit Realm needed right now, if it was true. It was because Qin Lai knew that Spirit Realm wasn't strong enough to resist the Spirit Race, the Soul Race, the Abyss Devils, or even weaker races such as the Winged Race or the Bone Race. The fact that a group as lousy as the Night Ghosts was able to cause massive damage to Spirit Realm was proof of that. If what Hao said was true, then no forces at the Night Ghosts, the Bone Race, or the Winged Race's level would dare to invade Spirit Realm once it was declared to be a private realm of the God Race. The Spirit Race and the Soul Race could still invade Spirit Realm, but the God Race would deal with them personally to defend the honor of their race. This meant that peace on Spirit Realm could be secured, and right now peace was what the 100 races needed the most. Why would you not plunder Spirit Realm yourself? Asked Qin Lai suspiciously. If you agree to come with us to God Realm, you'll become a part of us. Since Spirit Realm is under your name, it technically belongs to us as well, and Hao replied calmly. You are far more valuable than Spirit Realm. Your willing return to our fold is worth the cost, so we won't take anything more than that. Lian Zhao chuckled and added, on the outside, we will announce that Spirit Realm belongs to you and the Blaze family. That isn't all. And Hao stared deeply at Qin Lai and said, once we've acknowledged Spirit Realm as one of ours, you will have the chance to truly integrate with the circle that is the galaxy itself. We can help build some dimensional channels to speed up the process. From here on, Spirit Realm will be able to sell their spirit materials to any outer realm races, and you'll be allowed to trade for cultivation materials and bloodline ascension materials with the Winged Race, the Bone Race, the Earth Demon Race, and even the Spirit Race and the Abyss Devils. This will enable Spirit Realm to join the Galactic Circle in just a short time. Your civilization will be improving drastically as well. Qin Lai had to admit that he was very tempted by the offer. An instant later, he suddenly realized something and asked, why haven't you pushed a movement like this 20 millennia ago? And Hao raised his head slightly and declared proudly, that is because the denizens of Spirit Realm from 20 millennia ago were even worse than they are now. They simply didn't have the right to negotiate with us back then. In our eyes, the Spirit Realm of the past was nothing more but a slave world. But because of you, those old fellows are willing to make a concession and make even a realm as weak as Spirit Realm connect with the vast galaxy. Lian Zhao opened his mouth and chuckled strangely. If you wish to become a truly powerful force and join other stronger worlds, there is no faster and safer way than this. Of course, we are only doing this because of you. You are the true master of this realm in our eyes. Is this enough sincerity for you? Said Han Che before letting out a snort. On the giant starship, all three patriarchs of the God Race, Lian Zhao, Han Che and Hao, watched Qin Lai quietly after explaining everything. The rest of the God Race clansmen had fallen silent as well. Everyone was waiting for Qin Lai to come to a decision. If he chose to reject their offer, Spirit Realm would most likely cease to exist altogether. The realms the God Race had conquered and the 4 beast kings of the ancient beast race would be executed shortly as well. The Qin family would be forced to move away from Spirit Realm again and start all over on an unfamiliar outer realm. The Ji family and Skymender Palace could choose to stick together with the Qin family, or they could choose to perish alongside Spirit Realm. On the other hand, if he accepted the God Race's conditions and went to the God Realm with them, Spirit Realm would no longer need to worry about any invasion. Moreover, Spirit Realm would slowly be integrated into the outer realms, and the race's civilization would rise to a whole new level. All he needed to do was cooperate with the God Race. I don't seem to have another choice. A while later, Qin Lai gave them a bitter smile and made up his mind. He had no way of dealing with the God Race's threats, and he had to admit that their offer would be immeasurably beneficial to the future of Spirit Realm. We will give you some time to deal with your matters at Spirit Realm. Lian Zhao laughed loudly after Qin Lai had agreed to their offer. Don't worry, you're far too important to our race for us to try anything against you. Plus, once he reached that point, he stopped for a brief moment before continuing. Your grandfather also would not allow us to do anything that is not beneficial to you anyway. Grandfather, Qin Lai's attention was caught by the word. When Han Che and his people showed up in Azura realm, but didn't clash against the evil dragons or the Blood Emperor, Qin Lai already guessed that the God Race and Lian Yuan had arrived at some sort of tacit agreement. In fact, the evil dragon race and the Blood Emperor's attack on the giant dragon race, the Azura race, and the Sea race was actually beneficial to the Qin family. After all, the giant dragon race, the Azura race, and the Sea race were all allies of the Six Great Forces. They used to be hostile towards the Qin family. But because these forces had been defeated in their own realms, and Pei Dehong had officially withdrawn from Spirit Realm, the remaining 5 great forces had all chosen to submit to the Qin family. Moreover, the giant race, the ancient beast race, and the demon dragon race had chosen to form an alliance with the Qin family. This meant that the Qin family had almost no enemies left in Spirit Realm. The God race had promised to declare Spirit Realm as their private realm if he agreed to go with them to the God realm. The God race would even acknowledge him as the master of Spirit Realm and refrain from garrisoning it with their own experts. The fate of Spirit Realm would still be in the hands of its denizens. And considering that the Qin family was realistically the only dominant force left in Spirit Realm, he supposed that he was the master of Spirit Realm now. Suddenly, realization struck Qin Lai. Before he knew it, Lian Yuan and the God race had made him and the Qin family the true ruler and the strongest force in Spirit Realm. If he went to God Realm and allowed himself to be integrated into their race, he would become a part of the God race itself. In that case, the God race was absolutely right to claim that Spirit Realm was their private realm. Therefore, it made sense that the God race would want to help a private realm of theirs and push them to become part of the galaxy. "It seems like you'd done a lot for me in secret," said Qin Lai with an odd look on his face. "It's good that you can see that." And Hao nodded after nothing that Qin Lai had figured out the ins and outs of the situation. "We will be leaving a small number of our men in Shattered Ice Realm. Head to Shattered Ice Realm once you're finished with your matters in Spirit Realm. Someone will take you to God Realm from there." "I understand. Once you'd entered God Realm and taken your first real step into the vast universe, you'll realize that there are many more wonders waiting for you outside," said An House solemnly. "Welcome to the God race." Ganxing smiled at him. Lu Yong was beaming as well. "Since you'd become a part of the God race, it no longer matters if you have sky-bearing city or not." Lian Zhao snorted coldly before reassuring Qin Lai. "Don't worry. Those spirit race bastards will not dare to invade you another time. We will warn all outer realm races that Spirit Realm now belongs to us, and that trouble caused in Spirit Realm will be treated as a provocation to the God race." "In that case, I will be taking my leave," replied Qin Lai. "I hope to see you in God Realm soon," said Mia of the Profound Ice family. "Okay." After that, he jumped off the starship and flew back down to Sky-bearing City. The moment Qin Lai left, the giant starships hanging above Sky-bearing City, like giant beasts, suddenly flew back towards the giant spatial whirlpools one after another. They were gone before Qin Lai had even flown back to Sky-bearing City. Even the spatial whirlpool had gradually shrunk to the size of a dot before vanishing completely. Ah! The God race left again. What happened? Why would they leave so easily after showing up in such a grandiose manner? Did they decide to give up on invading Spirit Realm? Qin Lai went up just now, didn't he? Qin Lai. The one with the God race bloodline in him. The martial practitioner of the Qin family. Skymender Palace and the Ji family weren't the only ones who were letting out exclamations of surprise inside Sky-bearing City. The artificers were stunned by the God race's sudden departure as well. They didn't know why the God race had decided to leave all of a sudden. Just a moment ago, they thought that the apocalypse and a genocide was about to befall them. But the 7 God race starships had suddenly flown back into the spatial whirlpool in just a short time. It was almost like the God race had pulled a strange prank on them. Those who didn't know the truth were completely confused by the sudden turn of events. Swoosh! Qin Lai stopped next to Qin Shan, the Flame Emperor, and the Ice Emperor. He didn't look pale, at least. "You agreed to go with them to God Realm, didn't you?" Qin Shan sighed softly. The Flame Emperor and the Ice Emperor were 2 of the few people who knew about the truth, and they all thought that Qin Lai was making a big sacrifice for their sake. Somewhat embarrassed, They decided that it would be best if they maintained their silence and listened to what Xianxia had to say. I can't afford to turn down their offer. Xianxia looked at the small group before explaining. Not only will my departure kickstart the evolution of the entire spirit realm, it will bring spirit realm to the table of the most strongest of the universe at least 10 millennia earlier. What? The Ice Emperor was shocked. They promised me that spirit realm will be the god races in name, but they will not stick their hand into our business one bit. If we are invaded by other races, they also promise to deal with the threat if only for the sake of face, Xianxia explained. Besides that, the god race promises to help us build channels to connect with deeper parts of the universe and allow us to trade with any race in the outer realms. We can sell our spirit materials, spirit artifacts, and pills to anyone, and we can buy anything we need from any other races as well. This may benefit the evolution of all life in spirit realm greatly. Our civilization will reach a whole new level as well. The Flame Emperor's eyes grew wide open. Why on spirit realm would they agree to such a thing? This is not how they normally worked. They had never treated any conquered race or galaxy as equals. From what I learned, every realm or race who was conquered by the god race became slaves, and they let up their pressure only when every resource had been milked to nothing. This is definitely not their usual policy. The Ice Emperor was wearing a look of disbelief as well. They were willing to make some concessions because of me, answered Xianxia. The Ice Emperor, Jidan, and the others stared at each other before falling silent all of a sudden. When the Ice Emperor and the Flame Emperor were exploring the galaxies, they knew that the races residing in the number of races out there were literally as numerous as the stars. Out of these millions of races, the God race, a transcendent bloodline race, was the equivalent of a giant among these races. As a powerful race, the God race was never content to stay in one place. They were always invading other realms and robbing their resources to improve their own power. The God race was a domineering and bossy master to all lower realms and weaker races, and only that. In the past, the Blaze family and the Darkness family had enslaved every life in spirit realm and made them mine resources for the God race's benefit. Back then, Lian Yuan often nabbed the experts of the Giant race, the Giant Dragon race, and the Azura race to use their blood essences for perfect blood experiments. Anyone who caught the fancy of Lian Yuan was basically dead without question. It was why everyone in spirit realm had hated them, and why the human race had been able to unite the 100 races when they rose in rebellion. In the eyes of the races of the outer realms, the God race was as bad as a great scourge. It was why the Flame Emperor and the Ice Emperor felt like they were dreaming when they heard that this domineering and unreasonable race had decided to treat spirit realm with such kindness and friendliness. Moreover, Xianxia had told them that the God race had only been willing to make such a concession because of him. Ahem! The Flame Emperor coughed twice before staring at Xianxia with unnatural passion. If the God race is seriously willing to treat spirit realm as they claim, then this can only be a great blessing to all lives in spirit realm. Integrate with the universe to really integrate with the universe. Jidan muttered to himself as his murky eyes grew brighter and brighter. Boy, they're seriously going to let us rule spirit realm as we like. Hua Tianxiong was so excited that he had pressed one hand on Xianxia's shoulders. His fierce eyes was shining brightly. Since the day they had learned that there were millions of races and billions of realms in the universe, they had all dreamed of joining that circle for real. However, they were equally aware that spirit realm was rather weak right now. They were literally incomparable to those powerful races that had withstood the test of time for billions of years. Although they were hoping to integrate with the universe, they were also incredibly afraid that spirit realm would be devoured by the experts of the outer realms until not even their bones were left. They were terrified of those truly powerful races in the outer realms. However, if the God race, a member of the 4 great transcendent bloodline races, were to announce to the galaxy that spirit realm was under their protection, then their integration with the outer realms would go unbelievably smoothly. Sneaky bastards like the night ghosts wouldn't even dare to set their foot in spirit realm if they were considered one of the God race's private realms. Any race that was weaker than the God race in terms of strength and power wouldn't dare to cause trouble. Even the spirit race and the soul race wouldn't be able to invade spirit realm en masse without the God race taking action against them. With spirit realm's accumulated strength and the God race's forces, they wouldn't necessarily lose to the spirit race or the soul race. At the very least, they wouldn't be as absolutely powerless as they were now. Spirit realm's integration to the outer realms would be extraordinarily safe from any danger. Besides that, the god race was willing to lend them a hand in trading materials with other realms. This way, the races of Spirit Realm would be able to learn the true strength and bloodline power of the Outer Realms races and climb to a new height of power. Thanks to this, it'd probably take Spirit Realm only 1 or 2 millennia to truly stand their ground in the universe. Nominally speaking, Spirit Realm is my private realm according to their demands. Qin Lai let out a dry laugh before adding, "Of course. I'm only the owner of Spirit Realm in name." "Not a problem. That's not a problem at all." Hua Tianxiong laughed loudly before explaining. The races outside Spirit Realm, such as the Giant Race, the Azura Race, the Wood Race, and even the Sea Race who had had a negative opinion of us had been taught a harsh lesson. Moreover, Ninth Heaven will be absent from Spirit Realm for the next 3 centuries, and the remaining 5 forces of the human race are of no threat to us due to the losses they suffered. This means that the 3 of us and Sky-bearing City are the strongest powers in Spirit Realm right now. It is one of my dreams to push for the integration of Spirit Realm with the outside universe while I'm still alive," said Jidan with a smile. "We are all willing to support you," said the Ice Emperor with a smile as well. The Flame Emperor, the Ice Emperor, and the martial practitioners of the Skymender Palace and the Ji family had boiled up in excitement when they heard that Spirit Realm would be able to integrate with the outer realms smoothly and with minimum danger. Many of the Qin family's martial practitioners were staring at Qin Lai with bright eyes as well. Suddenly, Qin Lai was the center of attention. In their eyes, he was now someone who had the ability to change the very future of Spirit Realm. Qin Shan was the only one who had stayed silent until now. He chose this moment to throw in a mood-spoiling question. "They won't try to harm you, will they? Did they promise to guarantee your safety?" The excited crowd suddenly fell silent. They just remembered that all of these benefits came with the condition that Qin Lai would follow them back to God Realm without struggle. No one knew what the God race was going to demand of Qin Lai. "They did promise to keep me safe," assured Qin Lai. It was only then Qin Shan let out a sigh of relief. His grandfather still wasn't smiling, however. It was clear that he was reluctant to see Qin Lai leave. A giant spirit realm. Qin Lai's blood-soul beast avatar had successfully ascended to rank 10 thanks to the flesh and blood of the night ghost's experts it had consumed. After his blood-soul beast avatar had reached rank 10 soul line, the dark soul beast passed over the night ghost's souls it was holding to the blood-soul beast. After that, the Blood Soul Beast executed a soul race secret art and imprinted all 5 of the souls of the Night Ghost's rank 10 experts with a soul mark he had used for their souls. Qin Lai's Dark Soul Beast avatar returned to Heavenly Een Valley before stopping right in front of the dried-up hole that led to the profound Een Nether Sea. He had sealed up Latif and Malcolm's Soul Beast avatars using a soul race secret art inside this valley. As of late, he noticed that a wisp of soul would emerge from the cracks on the ground. He immediately noticed that the soul-devouring beast was deeply interested in their soul beast avatars. The soul-devouring beast's soul fragments had escaped into the profound Nether Sea after its body was killed. A long period of recovery later, it had even cultivated back to rank 10. Unfortunately, the soul-devouring beast's old body had been killed by the god race. Couldn't find a suitable body to possess either. To a soul race clansman, there was no body more suited for them than a soul beast. It was the best flesh and blood puppet they could hope for to unleash their full potential. After Latif and Malcolm's souls had been refined into soul orbs and trapped inside the soul-suppressing orb temporarily, their soul beast avatars had also become empty, masterless bodies. The soul-devouring beast must have caught wind of something, because it often sent out a soul or two to stare at the 2 empty soul beast bodies greedily. The first few times the souls had appeared, Qin Lai had killed them without a second thought. This time, though, Qin Lai had changed his mind. Instead of killing the soul immediately, he sent out a soul thought and requested to meet with the soul-devouring beast. The soul-devouring beast seemed to know that the Flame Emperor and the Ice Emperor had left the Heavenly Een Valley a long time ago. That was why he surprised Qin Lai by agreeing to a meeting. After that, Qin Lai in his dark soul beast form waited for the soul-devouring beast to emerge. Not long ago, the soul-devouring beast, Latif and Malcolm had laid down a trap at Heavenly Een Valley and nearly enslaved the Genesis realm expert souls of the six great forces. However, the trap had failed due to their concentrated barrage. After that, Malcolm and Latif had discarded their soul beast avatars and soul-traveled to Sky-bearing City directly. In the end, they were refined into soul orbs by Lian Yuan and trapped inside the fourth level of the soul-suppressing orb. The soul-devouring beast, Zilin, was able to escape back to the profound Een Nether Sea. The profound Een Nether Sea was one of the strangest places in the entire world. Only a handful of people knew about its secrets, and not even the Flame Emperor or the Ice Emperor dared to venture into the profound Een Nether Sea to fight Zilin. Just the same, Qin Lai couldn't travel too deep into the profound Een Nether Sea as well. All he could do was leave his dark soul beast avatar behind to guard this place. Since his true self was soon to leave Spirit Realm, the dark soul beast avatar thought that this was a good time to learn a couple of things through Zilin and realize his objective. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Clumps of gray clouds surged up into the sky of Heavenly Een Valley and blocked the sunlight. A moment later, Heavenly Een Valley had become a dark, lightless place as wisps of cold air flowed out of the hole that led to the profound Een Nether Sea. One by one, phantoms wriggled out of the hole as pitch-black water filled up the pond once more. Zilin, the soul-devouring beast made up of souls, slowly rose up from the pond. Bang! In an instant, a strange soul barrier covered up Heavenly Een Valley once more. Any living being who dared to pass through the barrier blindly would quickly find their body and soul separated. Without their physical body, any living thing who was trapped inside this valley was nothing more than Zilin's food. They wouldn't be able to resist. After Zilin had risen from the pond, he shot the dark soul beast a cold glance before fixing its gaze onto the other two soul beasts. No soul was possessing Malcolm and Latif's soul beast avatar right now. Did something happen to those two fellows? Asked Zilin in the language of the soul race. They'd both been absorbed into the soul-suppressing orb by me, admitted Qin Lai. Greenish soul flame suddenly appeared in Zilin's pupils as its body turned illusory. In just the blink of an eye, Zilin had assumed the form of a human soul. It looked just like any other human soul, except it was brimming with a Een soul aura. Why is the Master's soul-suppressing orb in your hands? Zilin yelled fiercely. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The phantoms inside the pitch-black pond suddenly turned into snakes and whipped at Qin Lai's dark soul beast avatar like gray-brownish whips. At the same time, Zilin's soul had turned blurry as well. Pooh! A strange noise came from the head area of Malcolm's discarded soul beast avatar. It was the sound of a soul barrier being hit by something. Sparks of lightning flew out of the corner of the soul beast's eyes. Whoosh! Zilin's soul shadow abruptly flashed away from the soul beast's nose. Then, Zilin tried to do the same thing to Latif's discarded soul beast avatar. However, he was thwarted in the exact same way. Zilin's soul shadow floated between the two soul beast avatars. It seemed to be snarling in pain because it had caught a bit of lightning during its attempts. Lately, Zilin had been observing the Heavenly Een Valley in secret through his souls. He knew that Qin Lai, the dark soul beast avatar, and the human experts who were guarding this valley had been gradually leaving. He also knew that the only ones who could really threaten him, the Flame Emperor, the Ice Emperor, Hua Tianxiong, and so on, had left even earlier than that. He was certain that the only person left in this valley was the dark soul beast, a soul race clansman at the same rank as he was. The two masterless soul beast avatars were the puppets of his dreams. He had been wondering how to best snatch one of them from the dark soul beast for himself. He had been gathering the power of the profound Een Nether Sea bit by bit inside Heavenly Een Valley. He had been worried that Qin Lai would try something sneaky while he was filling up the pond with pitch-black water and gathering his soul. But Qin Lai hadn't interrupted him once while he was gathering his strength. After he had gathered his strength completely, he suddenly felt good about his chances and acted immediately. He would rob a soul beast avatar for himself. Unfortunately, both his attempts had been thwarted by Qin Lai's soul barrier. Moreover, the soul barrier protecting the soul beast's minds contained the full power of Qin Lai's rank 10 subsoul, and his lightning secret art. Lightning was extremely effective against a pure soul like Zillan. It was why Zillan had failed both his attempts to enter the soul beast avatar's mind and take over their bodies. "When did you lay down thunder and lightning in their minds?" Zillan howled. "You didn't dare to watch Heavenly Valley with your souls at all times, did you?" Qianlai's dark soul beast avatar summoned the white bone scythe and swung a couple of times casually. It easily cut the giant snakes made of souls into pieces. The terrible screams of souls filled the valley. "It looks like your soul isn't complete," said Qianlai thoughtfully as he observed Zillan's soul shadow. "Or maybe I should say that you'd taken up too much phantom energy in order to return to rank 10 soul line as soon as possible. That is why you're so afraid of thunder and lightning, aren't you?" To Qianlai's knowledge, a true soul race clansman was partially immune to thunder and lightning. The soul race was the only race in the entire world that was partially immune to thunder and lightning. If they weren't, they would have been easily destroyed by thunder and lightning while they were traveling the world in pure soul form. The soul race wouldn't qualify as a transcendent bloodline race either. A rank 10 soul race clansman should be able to take a couple of hits from the lightning pool of the ninth heaven even in pure soul form. However, Zillan was smoking like crazy when Qianlai's true self summoned a barrage of lightning. A true rank 10 soul race clansman shouldn't have suffered like that. This made Qianlai suspect that Zillan hadn't actually recovered to full all this time. That was why Qianlai had left a thunder and lightning trap inside both the soul beasts' minds. It was to confirm his suspicions. If this level of thunder and lightning was enough to wound Zillan, then his suspicions must be correct. "That's right. I hadn't fully recovered yet." Zillan calmed down after realizing that there was no way he could possess either soul beasts. "In fact, I couldn't even leave Heavenly Valley for an extended period of time, or I wouldn't be the way I am now or stay in the profound Nether Sea without acting all this time. On the other hand, no one can harm me if I choose to hide in the profound Nether Sea forever." While saying this, Zillan's soul shadow slowly vanished into nothing. The Zillan inside the pitch-black pond at the center of Heavenly Valley grew clearer instead. When the soul shadow floating in between the soul beast avatar had vanished completely, a new Zillan had appeared inside the pond. "I can give you a soul beast avatar, you know?" Qianlai smiled at Zillan before saying, "I can even free you from Heavenly Valley so that you can travel the world anywhere you wish once more." "What is your condition?" said Zillan with a snort. "I want you to swear your loyalty, just like before," declared Qianlai. Suddenly, the dark soul beast avatar's greenish eyes burned up in greenish flames. His soul energy had become strange and unpredictable as well. "My lord, is that you?" exclaimed Zillan in excitement. The reason Zillan had reacted the way he did was because he had sensed the aura of Morel, his former master and the soul race crown prince, from Qianlai. Together with the crown prince of the soul race, Morel, Zillan, Kadak, and Mayo had possessed a soul beast each and arrived at spirit realm as the soul-devouring beast, the dark soul beast and the blood soul beast. While battling against Indigo's mother, Morel's soul beast avatar was destroyed before he became separated from his subordinates. Weak and powerless, Morel had no choice but to choose a human at random to possess. That human was none other than the ancestor of the Qin family, Qin Tian. Morel couldn't possibly imagine that the random human he chose would possess an extraordinarily tenacious will. Because his soul had suffered some serious injuries prior to landing in spirit realm, he wasn't able to wipe out Qin Tian's soul imprint immediately. A long period of struggle and fusion later, it turned out that his consciousness was actually the one that was being replaced. On the other hand, Qin Tian's soul grew stronger and stronger as he absorbed more and more of Morel's soul knowledge and memories. In the end, Morel and Qin Tian became one in a way that not even Morel could understand. But he was no longer the crown prince of the soul race. He had become the sole progenitor of the human race. He had taught humans the secrets of the souls and helped them master the cultivation art of constructing a soul altar. Thanks to the soul progenitor's soul secret arts and the blood progenitor's bloodline stealing arts, the human race ultimately became the ruler of spirit realm. The soul-suppressing orb carried by the soul progenitor was a sacred relic of the soul race. Only his inheritor would have the ability to use it. For generations, no one in the Qin family had been able to use the soul-suppressing orb until Qianlai appeared. After Qianlai had merged with the soul-suppressing orb's thought fragments, his soul presence had grown more and more similar to Morel's. His rank 10 subsoul had purposely imitated Morel's soul presence in order to trick Zilin, and Zilin had fallen for it immediately. "Are you still alive, Master? Is it really you?" Zilin was excited beyond belief. His soul shadow shook intensely inside the pitch-black pond. A soul tree emerged clearly from the head of Zilin's soul shadow. A tiny mark could be vaguely seen at the root of the soul tree. The mark was Zilin's proof of loyalty to Morel. It was made since a long time ago. A hierarchical system existed between soul race clansmen as well, but it was different from that of a soul master and a soul slave. For example, Qianlai had power over Curtis's very life. He could instantly extinguish Curtis's soul flame and kill him through the imprint in the latter's soul origin with a single thought. If necessary, he could claim everything that Curtis possessed and force him to die on his behalf as well. This was the relationship between a soul master and their servant. On the other hand, the master-servant relationship between two soul race clansmen was a lot freer and equal. It was similar to the relationship between a dominant gold rank force and a vassal silver rank force. Zilin was Morel's servant, but Morel didn't have the ability to kill Zilin without reason, or the ability to send him to his death like cannon fodder. Zilin was a servant of Morel, but he was given the freedom to develop his strength and raise his own soul servants. However, Zilin had to fight for Morel when required. Morel would have to reward Zilin, Kadak, and Mayo every time they conquered a realm and obtained a rich payout. If Morel was being too abusive, the three of them had the right to request a dissolution of their contract with the soul race and regain their freedom. This meant that Morel couldn't do whatever he pleased and strip them of all their rights and benefits. It was because they were all soul race clansmen. The soul race's benevolence was only offered to its own kind. On the other hand, soul servants were pawns that they could discard any time they pleased if the necessity were to arise. Zilin, the old imprint is slightly blurry because I nearly died that one time. Greenish flames burned brightly in the dark soul beast's pupils as countless secret runes unique to the soul race only flew out of the flames and towards Zilin's soul tree like butterflies. His plan was to fool Zilin into believing that he was Morel, alter the imprint in Zilin's mind with the soul race's secret art, and change the master Zilin was loyal to himself. If the imprint in Zilin's soul origin was altered successfully, he and Zilin would be sharing a new master-servant contract with each other. Zilin could only dissolve this contract when he returned to the soul race ancestral ground. During this period, he would be able to sense Zilin wherever he went. This meant that he would be able to sense Zilin's every move even after his true self had traveled to God Realm. At the very least, he wouldn't need to worry about Zilin committing evil. Besides that, this contract would allow him to know exactly what had happened to Zilin and his connection to the profound Nether Sea. "I'm going to deepen the imprint," said the dark soul beast avatar as the secret runes made from his soul flew slowly towards Zilin's soul shadow. "Okay." Zilin seemed to be completely unaware of the danger. However, when the secret runes came into contact with the soul tree, the imprint at Zilin's roots suddenly vanished into nothing. In fact, hundreds of phantoms had suddenly turned into ropes to trap the secret runes instead. A bad feeling suddenly struck Qianlai. "Hee. I knew that you're just the inheritor of my master's soul since a long time ago. Did you really think you can fool me?" Zilin chuckled darkly. Thousands of souls dragged the secret runes Qianlai had made with his soul consciousness into the pond that was connected to the profound Nether Sea. The soul consciousness imbued inside the secret runes had been embedded with Qianlai's unique soul race imprint. If he were to allow Zilin to drag them into the pond, they would immediately be corroded by the profound Nether Sea's black water into nothing. "I am no Malcolm and Latif. When I had become famous throughout the galaxy, those two hadn't even climbed to a high enough position to carry my shoes," claimed Zilin fiercely. Chains made out of the black water of the profound Nether Sea abruptly flew out of the pond and plunged into the dark soul beast's stomach like spears. Glug glug. A rich amount of blood immediately flowed towards Zilin through the chain. Zilin's illusory form immediately started growing solid after obtaining the Dark Soul Beast's blood. Frankly, Kadak's Soul Beast avatar is even more enticing to me than Latif or Malcolm's Soul Beast avatars. Zilin grew more and more physical as he absorbed the Dark Soul Beast's blood. With a physical body, I'll be able to refine all of the useless residue in my soul and discard any soul and thought fragments that are unnecessary to me. It won't be too long before I return to my peak form, and now that Morel is dead, I am completely free. I will use the power I had learned from the profound Nether Sea to convert all souls in Spirit Realm into dead spirits and phantoms. I will turn them all into my power. I will enslave every expert that exists in Spirit Realm. Zilin revealed his arrogance in full. Qianlai's Dark Soul Beast avatar was stabbed in the stomach by the black water from the profound Nether Sea. His blood was quickly being absorbed by the water as well. At the same time, his subsoul was struck by a sudden sense of dizziness as well. The black water seeping into his body seemed capable of corroding its soul. The black water of the profound Nether Sea had the strange ability to wipe out a soul's memories and consciousness. His memory and his consciousness seemed to be fading away with his blood even though he was at rank 10. A helpless feeling struck the Dark Soul Beast avatar. Any fresh soul that is stained by the profound Nether Sea will slowly forget their past. Zilin's illusory soul shadow was gradually growing physical after obtaining the Dark Soul Beast's blood. Soon, he had a flesh and blood body once more. You may not know this, but the profound Nether Sea of Netherrealm is actually connected to one of the 8 purgatories of the Abyss. Would you like to guess which one? Zilin was slowly transforming into an old human with brown skin. There was a dark green glow in his eyes. He watched Qianlai's Dark Soul Beast avatar coldly as he slowly walked out of the black pond. His souls were following his every movement like living shadows. Qianlai's true self at Sky-bearing City immediately got ready to create a star door when he saw Zilin emerging from the black pond. His true self was connected to his subsoul, so he knew everything that was happening at Heavenly Een Valley. He could assist it any time he wished. Although Qianlai's cultivation realm was low, he was well-versed in heavenly thunder eradication and supported by the soul-suppressing orb. It was more than enough to teach Zilin a harsh lesson. But just as he was about to summon a star door and step into Heavenly Een Valley directly, a figure suddenly emerged from the black pond that was connected to the profound Nether Sea without warning. The figure instantly transformed into a yellow-skinned person with a thin frame. The man's eyes glowed bright with purple as he discharged a stream of purple blood from his palm. Shred! The purple blood covered the black pond in a strange film and glowed brightly. The connection between Zilin and the black pond was cut off instantly because of it. Zilin howled and tried to return to the black pond immediately when he noticed that something was amiss. Bang! Unfortunately, his flesh and blood body did nothing to the purple film as he bounced backwards from the contact. The purple-eyed, yellow-skinned man grinned and sent a punch flying at Zilin's body. The body Zilin had created using the Dark Soul Beast's blood was instantly destroyed as blood splattered everywhere. The black chains Zilin had used to stab the Dark Soul Beast in the stomach had crumbled as well. It's you! Forced to return to his soul form, Zilin finally saw who the attacker was and screamed involuntarily. Demon God Mingxiao! Qianlai was stunned as well. Young Master Qin, you should have told me that you were planning to attack this guy here at Heavenly Een Valley. Mingxiao chuckled before saying, I'm a Dark Nether race clansman, and my race is the royal race of the Nether realm. I am very familiar with the profound Nether Sea, and I know that he was hiding in it since a long time ago. Qianlai recovered from his surprise before replying, I didn't know that you were interested in him, although he hadn't talked much with Mingxiao back at Sky-bearing City. He was very impressed by the strength that was displayed by the demon god. He had witnessed with his own eyes the demon god Mingxiao fighting on even footing against Narration and the foreign experts who had invaded Sky-bearing City, killing the Sartorius family members left and right. Despite being a top ranker in the spirit world, Narration held no advantage over Mingxiao whatsoever. From that battle, he knew that this particular demon god from Nether Realm was comparable to a rank 10 Great Lord of the Abyss. After all, only a great lord of the abyss could fight Narration on even footing. Of course I'm interested in him. Ming Xiao snorted coldly before explaining. A long time ago, he had caused havoc at Nether Realm and taken countless lives. Although the god race managed to kill off his physical body, one of his subsouls had managed to slip into the profound Nether Sea and cause plenty of troubles after the dust was settled. I had fought against him many times as the leader of Nether Realm, but he was always able to escape back to the profound Nether Sea. Unfortunately, there was nothing I could do to him there. Not long ago, I learned that he had made an appearance at Heavenly Valley. Knowing that there was an underground hole in Heavenly Valley that was connected to the profound Nether Sea, I knew that he was planning to show his face again. That is why I am here. Ming Xiao, you should have been killed by Sky Mender Palace. Zilan screamed. How are you still alive and even more powerful than before? The old patriarch of the Qin family is the one who had reawakened me through a certain method, and I'm not the only one who'll be awakening either. The rest of the demon gods will eventually return to life as well, Ming Xiao said darkly. As a member of the Dark Nether race and the royal race of the Nether Realm, it is my responsibility to guard the profound Nether Sea. Have you asked my permission before using the profound Nether Sea to cause havoc to the world, Soul Race clansman? Crackle! Purple lightning bolts flashed out of Ming Xiao's eyes and struck Zilan's soul shadow squarely. Screaming, the souls that made up Zilan's soul shadow crumbled under the purple lightning. Zilan's soul tree was slowly exposed as his souls fell apart. If you hadn't left the profound Nether Sea, I wouldn't have been able to do anything to you. But you did, and all you have left now is a fragment of your soul. What can you possibly do in this situation? Said Ming Xiao disdainfully. Giant water pillars emerged from the black pond and attacked the purple film Ming Xiao had created with his blood repeatedly. Boom! Boom boom! The purple film had cut off Zilan's connection to the black pond and prevented him from returning to it. Meanwhile, Ming Xiao was still taunting Zilan and whipping his soul with purple lightning. Eventually, all of the souls surrounding Zilan were destroyed into nothing. The only thing that was left was Zilan's soul tree. Why have you come, boy? Asked Ming Xiao suddenly. Qin Lai was originally in his dark soul beast form. Seeing that the situation had completely tipped into their favor, he activated his transformation ability and took on a human form instead. I have come for Zilan's soul, replied Qin Lai. Zilan? Is that his name? Asked Ming Xiao. Qin Lai nodded. Amen. His name is Zilan, and he is one of the 3 generals under the command of the Soul Race Crown Prince, Morel. My suggestion is for you to kill him completely. Otherwise, if even a wisp of his soul manages to escape our grasp, he'll be able to re-enter the profound Nether Sea and return to his current strength just like before. Ming Xiao explained seriously. You should know that every Soul Race clansman has the ability to split into many subsouls. If any one of these subsouls manages to escape to safety, his soul origin will continue to exist. After that, it is only a matter of time before they return to full strength once more. Moreover, this Zilan is different from your normal Soul Race clansman. He had learned a profound ability from the profound Nether Sea, and this ability allows him to control the phantoms and evil spirits in it. If his strength is allowed to grow to a certain point, Spirit Realm will not be the only world that is under his threat. He'll seep his power into the Abyss Purgatory through the profound Nether Sea as well. When that happens, he'll be able to enslave even the Abyss Devils in the Abyss Purgatory. He's that powerful? Exclaimed Qin Lai in surprise. The profound Nether Sea is connected to the Nether River that connects all 8 of the Purgatories. If he grows powerful enough to return to the Nether River, he'll be able to study it and grow even stronger and more terrifying than before, said Ming Xiao seriously. Nether River? There is a river connecting all 8 Abyss Purgatories together. Qin Lai was dumbfounded by Ming Xiao's knowledge. How do you know that? After my bloodline had ascended to rank 10, my true identity came to me and made me realize that the source of my bloodline are the Abyss Devils. A rank 10 Great Lord of the Abyss is able to learn many secrets of the Abyss from their bloodline, you know. When the abyss devil heart in your true body grows to rank 10 bloodline, the knowledge regarding the 8 purgatories should be open to you as well. A transcendent bloodline race's history and secrets are all imprinted inside their bloodline. Once their power reaches a certain level, they will be able to travel to the Chaos Blood Realm whenever they wish. The Chaos Blood Realm records everything. Ming Zhao's explanation ended there. Does that mean you know everything about the Abyss even though you've never gone to the Abyss yourself? Asked Qianlai curiously. That is correct. The Nether River that runs through the 8 purgatories. The power of the profound Nether Sea. Qianlai's expression gradually darkened. His attitude towards Zilan changed due to Ming Zhao's words. Originally, he had planned to use a soul race secret art to form a servant bond with Zilan. He hoped that Zilan would docilely follow him. Through Ming Zhao's explanation, he realized that Zilan was unlike other soul race clansmen and was too dangerous. Whoosh whoosh, the glittering star door opened at the dark soul beast's side. Qianlai's main body passed over. When his main body appeared, he nodded to Ming Zhao and then pointed at his forehead. The soul-suppressing orb slowly appeared out of his skin and gave off a strange light. No! No! Zilan, whose souls had been obliterated by Ming Zhao's purple lightning, suddenly screamed. Qianlai and Ming Zhao could both see his terror. Previously, Zilan had not shown much fear upon hearing his conversation with Ming Zhao. He seemed to feel that he and Ming Zhao could not do much to him. Zilan did not seem to believe that Qianlai would really attempt to kill him completely. He had great confidence in the strange power art he mastered. If Qianlai did not refine and kill him, he believed he could recover back to normal. Yet the appearance of the soul-suppressing orb tore apart all of his illusions. As a member of the soul race, one of the 3 generals under Morel's command, he knew that a soul race relic like the soul-suppressing orb could completely kill him. Due to this, he finally showed signs of terror. I agree. I am willing to form a servant bond with you and serve with you as my master, he screamed in terror. Too late. Qianlai shook his head. The light released by the soul-suppressing orb suddenly shone towards Zilan's soul tree. Whoosh! That unique soul tree turned into a black light and was immediately sucked into the bead. Qianlai blinked. The soul-suppressing orb sank back into his glabella. Ming Zhao's purple eyes shone bright. He said, "This thing can kill him completely?" "I think so." Qianlai nodded. Splash, splash. The water from the profound Nether Sea suddenly sank down after Zilan was pulled into the soul-suppressing orb. The black water pond that Ming Zhao sealed with his purple blood turned into dark cavern in the blink of an eye. The cavern headed towards the profound Nether Sea in Nether Realm. "Do you need these 2 soul beasts?" Ming Zhao asked. Qianlai turned and looked at Malcolm and Latif's soul beast bodies. He said, "Yes." "Then never mind," Ming Zhao said with slight regret. "What is it?" Qianlai asked. "The soul beast puppets that the soul race have refined appear dead, but the energies of the soul beast are all preserved. The soul beasts that each soul race clansman has refined contain vast refined flesh and blood energy. The other 4 demon gods will awaken soon. They'll need to restore their energy," Ming Zhao said with a sigh. "The other 4 demon gods?" Qianlai said curiously. Ming Zhao nodded and then said, "If you do not mind, I will return to Sky-bearing City now and take you somewhere later?" He pointed at the star door. "All right." Qianlai nodded. "Your body should stay in Heavenly Valley. You should seal the cavern towards the profound Nether Sea to avoid the phantoms in Heavenly Valley from coming through in large numbers." Ming Zhao looked at his dark soul beast avatar. "Oh!" Qianlai and Ming Zhao returned to Sky-bearing City through the star door, and then used the realm entrance of Sky-bearing City to head to another realm. Dark Natal Realm? Qianlai was shocked when he followed Ming Zhao into this realm. "Yes, this is Dark Natal Realm. The foreign race's clansmen and evil beings you got from Qin Yi that the blood soul beast consumed actually had been prepared by your grandfather for us," Ming Zhao answered. "For you?" Qianlai was even more curious. "Come here." Ming Zhao grabbed him and then sprinted underground in Dark Natal Realm. In the dark underground passageway, Ming Zhao led him through several invisible barriers. Poof, poof. Every time they passed an invisible boundary, he would hear a strange sound. Some time later, having passed through countless barriers, Ming Xiao suddenly stopped in a vast and empty cavern with him. There were 5 enormous blood pools in the cavern. One of them was clean and had nothing inside. Strong heartbeats came from the other 4 pools. He saw 4 bloody abyss devil corpses, and each of them had a powerful abyss devil heart beating there. There was also shallow blood water in those blood pools. The enormous corpses seemed to be absorbing the blood water's power and growing sinews. 3,000 years, the 4 of them have just grown their skeletons. Their organs, sinews, and heads need more physical power to recover. Ming Xiao sighed. Your grandfather spent all the physical power he gathered over the years on me, so I was the first to wake up. You! Qin Lai halted. Back when Skymender Palace killed us and were taking care of our corpses, your grandfather asked for our hearts. Hua Tianqiong did not understand. He did not know that for us, who have the Abyss Devil race bloodline, our hearts are more important than our cut-off heads. We, who were already rank 10 Abyss Devils, still had intact hearts. We could be revived. Ming Xiao looked at the 4 blood pools. If there is enough refined flesh and blood energy, we can rebuild our fleshly bodies. Our bones, sinews, and organs can all form. If our Abyss Devil hearts are not destroyed, we are not truly dead and can be reborn. Qin Lai nodded. So that's how it is. He had visited Abyss levels and knew the core of the Abyss Devil's power lay in their hearts. The heart of the Abyss Devil was the gathering place of the Abyss Devil race bloodline, and the source of their power. A strong Abyss Devil's most valuable part was the heart. If the heart wasn't destroyed, the Abyss Devil would not die. This wasn't a secret in the Abyss. I hope that I can borrow your secret realm entrance connected to the Abyss to hunt some Abyss Devils before you go to God Realm, Ming Xiao suddenly said. Qin Lai's expression changed. He said, with your rank 10 power, you will be challenged by rank 10 great Abyss Devils in any level you appear in, and not just one. I know, Ming Xiao nodded. But I do not want to continue waiting. The 4 of them have slept too long. I want them to wake up as soon as possible. My grandfather. The old master is kind, and doesn't allow me to do major things after my awakening. I could go to the ancient beast race or the giant race to gain vast fleshly energy to help them recover. Ming Xiao frowned. In the past, he did not allow it. Now that all the races of Spirit Realm are obedient, I have even less of a chance. Other than the Abyss, I cannot find any other battlefield to help them wake up as fast as possible. I know you are powerful, but none of the rank 10 great lords of the Abyss are easy to defeat, Qin Lai said gravely. I will first move in the Abyss passageway and not go to any level, Ming Xiao said. Does my grandfather know your decision? He does not. I have an idea. What? The 4 great beast kings of the ancient beast race have been itching to fight in the Abyss. The 4 of them are not as strong as you, but they are rank 10. With you as the leader and them as the vanguard, maybe you can try challenging a level. At the very least, you should be able to retreat unharmed when the situation turns bad. Can you convince them to go with me? Without you, they have no power to establish themselves in any Abyss level anyway. Then try. All right. Extreme Flame Abyss. Inside the erupting volcanoes, many flame demons roamed around. Some Abyss Devils walked out of the lava, churning lava spilling off their bodies. Boom! A rank 9 Lord of the Abyss walked out of the biggest volcano and shouted in the language of the Abyss. The nearby low-rank Abyss Devils heard his shout and left the area. After a while, this Lord of the Abyss was the only one left in the Sea of Flames. After his subordinates left, the Abyss Devil transformed and shrunk into the form of high-rank Abyss Devil. Whoosh whoosh! A bright star door formed in front of him. Master, Acarus said respectfully. It was the Abyss Devil who had eaten the flesh of Atkins to ascend to rank 9 bloodline, Qin Lai's sole servant Acarus. When he reached rank 9 bloodline, he successfully took over Atkins's land and became the local hegemon. Whoosh! Qin Lai walked out of the star door, glanced at Acarus and nodded. Acarus was about to speak when his expression changed as he looked in shock at the other person who walked out of the star door. Lord, you are. His eyes were filled with reverence as he bowed to Ming Xiao, who walked out of the star door. He used ancient abyss etiquette and didn't dare to slack off. Ming Xiao, who did not activate his bloodline and didn't have purple eyes and hair, looked like an ordinary human man. But abyss devils who reached Acarus's level instinctively felt terror when Ming Xiao stepped out of the star door. This was the natural reverence a weak abyss devil would instinctively feel towards a more powerful abyss devil. Ming Xiao looked in surprise at Acarus and asked, "Qin Lai, who is he?" "My servant," Qin Lai answered. Ming Xiao was clearly surprised. He nodded and said, "Boy, you are as extraordinary as expected. If he is ordinary, the god race would not have released us at his word." Crimson Blood Ape King of the ancient beast race snickered as he came out of the star door. "This is the extreme flame abyss?" After him, Heavenly Blue Snake King, Nine-Tailed Fox King, and Fierce Python Thunder King appeared as well. They were temporarily in human form. When Qin Lai found them and spoke of his intentions, they did not hesitate to agree. When the rank 10 bloodline warriors of the god race invaded ancient beast realm and attacked them, they greatly felt the disparity in strength between themselves and the other races of the universe. They were all rank 10, but their combat power added together could only match one god race rank 10 warrior. In the end, they were captured alive. If Qin Lai had not agreed to the god race's conditions, they would have died along with the entire ancient beast race. At that time, they decided if they could survive, they would pay any price to increase their bloodline power. The abyss was their dream battlefield, because their bloodline, according to Qin Lai's research, actually came from the abyss devil races system. So when Qin Lai said he hoped that they would go with Ming Xiao to the extreme flame abyss, they immediately agreed without hesitation. "Master, they, Acarus abruptly frowned and shouted. "Their bloodline power all reach rank 10. Their existence will alarm the great lords of the abyss." "They came for the great lords of the abyss," Qin Lai said. Acarus was even more terrified. "Help them get familiar with the extreme flame abyss. You do not have to pay attention to the following matters." Qin Lai did not explain. "Whether they can survive in the extreme flame abyss has nothing to do with you. Everything depends on their own power." Not long ago, the Blaze family of the god race had moved through the extreme flame abyss and impacted the extreme flame abyss greatly. The great lords of the extreme flame abyss had used much power in fighting the rank 10 warriors of the god race. He saw that the extreme flame abyss was at its weakest at the moment, so he arranged for Ming Xiao and the 4 beast kings to come here. If Ming Xiao and the others could not survive in the extreme flame abyss, they would be completely hopeless anywhere else. "Return, you do not have to pay attention to this matter." Ming Xiao nodded towards Qin Lai. He suddenly flew into the sky of the extreme flame abyss, his thin and small body beginning to transform. The dense abyss devil energy of the extreme flame abyss came from all directions. He absorbed it into his body like purple clouds. In a short brief moment, Ming Xiao turned into a vicious abyss devil with horns and a pair of wings. After turning into an enormous abyss devil, Ming Xiao gave a sky-shaking howl in the dark red sky of the extreme flame abyss. "Arg!" Ming Xiao howled, his enormous wings giving off dense acidic mist. There was a corrosive presence in the acidic mist that appeared able to dissolve everything. "Who are you in the black bog abyss? Why have you come to the extreme flame abyss?" A furious voice came from the distance in extreme flame abyss. "Why do you care who I am?" Ming Xiao laughed. He moved forward, not waiting for the other to get close. Boom, boom, boom. In the blink of an eye, terrifying sounds of enormous bodies fighting came from the distant sky, invisible to the naked eye. "Master, this is a battle between the Black Bog Abyss and the Extreme Flame Abyss?" Acarus said in shock. No, Qin Lai shook his head. He looked at the 4 beast kings of ancient beast realm and said, "Ming Xiao is already fighting with a great lord of the abyss. His battle may go on for multiple months, or even longer. You have to guarantee the other 2 great lord of the extreme flame abyss will not interfere during this time." "Yes," Crimson Blood Ape King said. "If Ming Xiao defeats the great lord of the extreme flame abyss, he will one day travel to the Black Bog Abyss. Qianlai rubbed his chin and thought for a while. He said, "His black bloodline originates from the Black Bog Abyss. When he is strong enough, he may replace Ashnaz, the great lord of the Black Bog Abyss, and become the ruler of the Black Bog Abyss. Of course, he might be killed in the Extreme Flame Abyss. If that's the case, it's done. He chose this path and you followed him. Any race that fights in the Abyss might be torn to pieces by the Abyss Devils. The God race and Spirit race are not exceptions. I can only tell you good luck." As he finished, he left the Extreme Flame Abyss through the Star Door. The Chaos Abyss, where the sky was gray, and the Abyss Devil energy was permeated with savagery and viciousness. Vitas stood next to a bog. He had just killed a little group led by a rank 8 Abyss Devil and felt a shift in his soul. "Master!" In the Flaming Sun Abyss, he and Qianlai had formed a Abyss Devil servant bond. His soul and Qianlai's soul were connected. A star door flashed. Qianlai formed a star door directly into the Chaos Abyss, utilizing the connection between him and Vitas, as well as the bloodline of the demon spirit of space and time. "You are in the Chaos Abyss. Not bad. This place isn't bad." He smiled and nodded. "I heard that the first and second strongest of the Chaos Abyss, Terror Devil King and Despair Devil King, have died outside the realm. This caused the other 3 great lords of the Abyss to fight furiously recently to become the new ruler of the Chaos Abyss." Vitas explained respectfully. "The Chaos Abyss is a mess to begin with. The Abyss Devils here are mad in their killing. I feel this place will help my bloodline advance, so I came here to gain experience." "Very good." Qianlai laughed and said, "Come out." The small toad suddenly flew out and screamed in a sharp voice, "I can exist in any world with life. Give me some time, I will grow stronger." The first voodoo creature who had been refined into a soul slave had constantly requested to hunt. He appeared to have limitless reproductive power. Qianlai worried that he would bring calamity to Spirit Realm if he stayed, so he agreed to find another place. The Chaos Abyss was the breeding ground he found for the voodoo insect. "This is not Spirit Realm. The Abyss Devil flesh here is much more powerful than the races of Spirit Realm. Similarly, their power surpasses the races of Spirit Realm." Qianlai looked coldly at him and said, "It will depend on your ability if you can survive in the Chaos Abyss. If you can use the cruel Abyss Devils here to breed your voodoo insect race, it will be your merit. But if you cannot survive, you and your so-called voodoo insect race will cease to exist." I understand. I will be more careful and strengthen the voodoo insect race." The first voodoo creature howled. "Be careful. I hope that one day I will hear of the reputation of the voodoo insect race in the Chaos Abyss from other realms." "You will. You definitely will." After arranging for Mingxiao and the 4 Beast Kings to the Extreme Flame Abyss and throwing the first voodoo creature into the Chaos Abyss, Qianlai returned to Spirit Realm. He came to the Land of Chaos. After many years, the Land of Chaos had resumed peace. The Silver Rank forces, because they had made the same decision going to the Frost Desolation Abyss, ended up on the opposite side of the 6 forces. As the 6 forces fell, and Ninth Heaven announced its retreat from Spirit Realm, Terminator Sect, Heavenly Sword Mountain, and the other forces openly returned. The forces once again ruled the 5 continents of the Land of Chaos. Due to their experiences in the Frost Desolation Abyss, they became more powerful. Without the Curse Progenitor's curse, the imperishable realm martial practitioners of the Land of Chaos had a greatly reduced difficulty in reaching the Void Realm. After Forefather Terminator and Duan Xianxia, Li Mu, Lei Yen, Feng Yi, Qiyang, and the others all reached the Void Realm and built new level on their soul altars. Because of the connection to Baluo Realm, and being able to enter the Frost Desolation Abyss at any time, the experts of the Land of Chaos would frequently go there to gain experience. Many of them died and turned into food for the Abyss Devils. But the martial practitioners who managed to survive the bloodbath of the Abyss Devils became extremely terrifying. The strength of the Land of Chaos grew stronger by the day, and Flaming Sun Island was the strongest force in the Land of Chaos, commanding all Silver Rank forces. The large teleportation formation set up in the ruined lands could connect to Sky-bearing City in Central World. Qianlai took Song Tingyu and Tang Siki to meet Qinshan in Sky-bearing City. However, the The two girls felt they didn't belong there, and after brief meeting with Qianlai's grandfather, they returned home. They moved between the land of chaos, Boluo Realm, and the Frost Desolation Abyss. The realm entrances of Boluo Realm gradually connected with Giant Spirit Realm, Azura Realm, and Ancient Beast Realm. The races of Spirit Realm could fight in the Abyss through the realm entrance of Boluo Realm. They, who controlled the realm entrance, gradually gained a considerable right to speak in Spirit Realm. The experts who knew their status feared them more, and none of the foreign race experts dared to dismiss them. Through the invasion of Narration and the Soul Race, the slaughter of the Night Ghosts, and then the domineering incursion of the God Race, all the races of Spirit Realm thought of Sky-bearing City as the Holy Land. The Qin family, Ji family, and Skymender Palace who formed Sky-bearing City became the strongest power in Spirit Realm, and had authority to call on any race. The Ancient Beast Race, the Giant Race, the Wood Race, the Sea Race, and the Azura Race were all firm allies of Sky-bearing City. Their recognition caused Sky-bearing City to become the true hegemon of Spirit Realm, capable of mobilizing all the forces in Spirit Realm. After staying in the land of chaos with Song Tingyu and Tang Siki for a while, and seeing the situation of Spirit Realm settle with no opposing voices to Sky-bearing City, Qianlai felt a bit discontent with the calm. His dark soul beast avatar stayed in heavenly Yin Valley and guarded the cavern towards the profound Yin Nether Sea. The blood soul beast avatar stayed in Giant Spirit Realm and refined Guddas and the other Night Ghosts experts after reaching rank 10. After bidding farewell to his relatives, he went through Dragon Realm to the depths of Shattered Ice Realm. An enormous starship was embedded inside an enormous glacier. God Race clansmen stood on the icicles. Seeing him appear, Mia of the Profound Ice family immediately walked out of the spaceship and led him in. "You came. We have waited a while." Once they entered the starship, Ganxing and Lu Yong immediately appeared with smiles. They were not comfortable with the environment of Shattered Ice Realm, so they cultivated in the rooms of the starship. "Those old men are most likely panicking." Song Yi of the Darkness family still wore a mask, but not her heavy armor but a pure black martial robe. "My father and the others have too many matters and do not have time to waste here waiting for you." Mia smiled coolly and said, "Xian Luo, Sister Song Yi, and I will see you back to God Realm." Ganxing and Lu Yong did not want to go and wanted to travel with you. Qianlai looked at this young generation of the God Race, nodded, and said with a smile, "Thank you. Let's go." Song Ye's gaze was cold. She led the way to the enormous teleportation platform and entered first. After her, Mia, Xian Luo, Ganxing, and Lu Yong all walked in. Qianlai followed them onto the teleportation platform. Boom! When he entered, powerful spatial power exploded out from around the teleportation platform. In a flash, he found the surroundings were filled with flowing light, and unknown grains were exploding. He knew he had entered a spatial passageway. He calmly looked forward, and then his gaze turned terrified. He said, "Great Sage Tianqi." The flowing lights turned into the face he saw of Great Master Tianqi in Sky-bearing City. The face looked at him expressionlessly. Only the lips moved. He said coldly, "Lian Yuan ruined my great plan. I cannot let it go just like that." As he finished, Great Sage Tianqi's face made out of light exploded. The lights fell in a storm. Qianlai suddenly felt the spatial power in the spatial passageway they were in become chaotic. Enormous balls of light exploded in their spatial passageway and changed their destination. They were like a ship in the roaring ocean, ignorant of where they were floating to and unable to change their direction. This state seemed to only continue for an instant, but also a long time. Bam! He smashed hard onto a hard rock. Bam! Bam bam! Behind him, some other sounds of impact came around him. Ganxing and Mia spoke at the same time. "What happened? This definitely is not God Realm." Qianlai, who was dizzy, suddenly reacted and unconsciously stood up. He examined the unfamiliar world in front of him. They stood at the top of a black mountain. They looked around and only saw mountain peaks similar to the one they were on. Those black mountains were like sharp swords stabbing towards the sky, one after another. Below was a black world. Above was a dark and cold sky. They could not see what was on the ground or in the sky. They could feel this world was dark and desolate. Abyss devil energy. It is abyss devil energy. He inhaled the thin air, and the abyss devil race bloodline in his body immediately became lively. He felt he could deploy his abyss devil race bloodline and move in his abyss devil form in this world. After his surprise, he suddenly found his soul connection to his two subsouls, and the soul servants was completely cut off. What abyss level is this ghastly place? This isn't right. Ganxing cursed. We should be going to God realm. Why are we here? You did not see great sage Xianxia in the spatial passageway? Qianlai was shocked. Great sage Xianxia of the spirit race? You saw him? Ganxing was shocked. I saw his face made up of light. Qianlai answered. Oh no! Songyi inhaled deeply and said, we ruined his operation in spirit realm. He is using this opportunity to gain revenge on us. Based on what I know, only 2 or 3 people in the universe are able to forcibly change the direction of the spatial passageway and guide us here. Great sage Xianxia of the spirit race is one of them. Where is this? Speak clearly, Mia said in a panic. The bottom levels of the abyss? 8 purgatories. Songyi looked around. Only the 8 purgatories can separate everything, and render the old people of our race helpless. Qianlai, don't you have the demon spirit of space and time bloodline? Ganxing said. My soul connection with everyone has been cut off. Qianlai shook his head. Without a soul connection, I cannot form a star door with the demon spirit of space and time bloodline. We can only use the abyss passageway to leave this purgatory. Songyi inhaled and said, the god race, the spirit race, the soul race, and other races have waged war in the abyss for countless years, but only in the upper 100 levels. The bottom 8 levels are the 8 purgatories. Foreigners are killed on sight. Only a rare few are lucky enough to leave. Great Sage Xianxia is one of the special few that had come to the 8 purgatories and left alive. Why haven't they returned? And how of the Darkness family shouted with a frown in God Realm? What happened in Shattered Ice Realm? Lian Zhao's expression was terrible. Whoosh! An icy light flashed and Han Che appeared. He said, I just communicated with our family members in Shattered Ice Realm. They said Qianlai, Songyi, and the others left through the teleportation formation 2 hours ago. Based on the time, they should have reached God Realm long ago. At the words, and Hao and Lian Zhao all frowned. Something must have happened. And Hao said confidently. Han Che thought for a moment and then sat down slightly. He searched for Mia's position with their bloodline connection. When he was in God Realm, he could feel Mia, who was trapped in Dark Natal Realm by Qianlai, and knew she was unharmed. Mia was his daughter and inherited his bloodline. He could use bloodline secret arts to sense her. Seeing Han Che's actions, and Hao and Lian Zhao were both silent and waited for his conclusion. A long time later, Han Che opened his eyes and said with an unusually grave expression, I cannot feel Mia's position. How is it possible? Lian Zhao shouted. She is your daughter. If she is alive, no matter where she is, you should be able to feel her general location. It is not absolute. Han Che shook his head and said, you should know there are 2 places in the vast universe where I cannot sense Mia. And Hao of the Darkness family was shocked and shouted, Dark Shadow World and the 8 purgatories. Lian Zhao was also stunned and realized. He said, are they in either of those 2 ghastly places? It cannot be Dark Shadow World. And Hao shook his head and said, no matter how the teleportation formation direction is twisted, it cannot reach Dark Shadow World. Then it is the 8 purgatories? Lian Zhao shouted. Han Che said, it can only be the 8 purgatories. There are only a handful of people in the universe who are able to use spatial power to disrupt our setup and send them to an abyss purgatory. And Hao snorted and said, it must be that damn Xianxia. Most likely. Our cooperation with Lian Yuan ruined his setup in Spirit Realm and caused Narration, his chess piece, to die. With his personality, he wouldn't let it slide. Han Che said gravely. Purgatory, 8 purgatories. And Hao frowned. It is not easy to go to 8 purgatories and rescue them, even for us. Also, Which of the 8 purgatories are they in? Damn Tianqi! Lian Zhao shouted. This is not the first time he has ruined things. Han Che, we will first see the elders. Lian Zhao, contact Lian Yuan and tell him about this. And Hao said, all right. Purgatory. After the initial panic, everyone gradually calmed and started to consider how they would find the abyss passageway of this level. Qin Lai attempted to contact his 2 soul beast avatars. His soul perception seemed to be blocked off by an invisible barrier. His main soul and subsoul's connection were cut off in the purgatory. As the creator of the Flaming Sun Abyss, he tried to utilize his unique connection, and failed. Mia and the others used other methods to attempt contact with their race elders and concluded it was a waste of energy. It is useless. The 8 purgatories are unlike other abyss levels. Even pure abyss devils can only leave through the abyss passageway, let alone us. Song Yi had calmed down and said, based on my knowledge, other than devil monarchs and beings of great sage Tianqi's level, no one can move freely through the 8 purgatories without the help of the abyss passageway. The devil monarchs of the 8 purgatories have their power and bloodline merged with the core laws of their respective purgatories. A person like great sage Tianqi must have extraordinary knowledge of the secrets of space to not need to go through the abyss passageway. Song Yi shook her head. There is no chance. We must find the abyss passageway and go up through it. Usually, the abyss passageway would be at the center of an abyss level. It should be the same in a purgatory. Qin Lai looked around and said, however, we do not know where we are now and which direction we should go. How about we spread out and fly for a while to see if there are any clues? Gan Xing suggested. It will be good to find an abyss devil and ask. Lu Yang agreed. Abyss devil? Song Ye's eyes flashed darkly and said, we do not understand the 8 purgatories, nor know the strength of their abyss devils. If we meet some strong abyss devils, we might lose. Stay here for now, I will take a look around, Qin Lai suddenly said. You? Mia was shocked. If I encounter a powerful abyss devil, I might be able to protect myself. Qin Lai grinned and then activated his abyss devil race bloodline. Crack, crack, crack. His skeleton cracked. The nearby abyss devil energy flooded into his body. After a while, he managed to turn into an abyss devil using his abyss devil race bloodline. After his transformation, his eyes and hair were deep purple. He became bulky and firm. Sharp spikes grew on his knees, elbows, and shoulders. His skin was covered by purple-brown armor. Abyss devil! Mia was stunned. Even Song Yi and Gan Xing were shocked at his body after transformation. You should know why those old people value me so greatly. After his abyss devil transformation, Qin Lai chuckled and appeared vicious. My existence means that the perfect blood project the last patriarch of the Blaze family studied has succeeded. So that's how it is, Song Yi sighed. Perfect blood. Shen Luo's gaze was excited. Wait here for a while. Qin Lai did not explain more. He flew away in his abyss devil body, found a random direction and disappeared in a short while. The Blaze family bloodline, the Profound Ice family bloodline, the Demon Spirit of Space and Time bloodline, the Abyss Devil race bloodline. Mia murmured. What other bloodlines does he have? How many bloodline systems does he possess? He is the future of our race, Song Yi said seriously. In this moment, she finally understood why the old people of the God race suddenly accepted Lian Yuan and were willing to pay such a high price for Qin Lai. After his transformation, he looks like a pure abyss devil. If he abandons us, wouldn't he be able to move freely in the purgatory? Mia hesitated and said, without us, he will have no problems with his identity. Will he return? Song Yi also stilled. Do not worry, he will, Gan Xing said with a smile. Under the dim sky, Qin Lai flew aimlessly in his abyss devil body. The thick and pure abyss devil energy was naturally absorbed by him. His body seemed to enjoy this unknown abyss level and its aura. He scanned his body and found that his abyss devil heart seemed to beat faster than usual. This should be right, this is an abyss level. Maintaining his abyss devil state, he flew for a while and then released his soul consciousness. While he was in his abyss devil body, His soul's perception was stronger than true abyss devils. His soul was like invisible water that rippled outwards and slowly permeated. After an unknown amount of time, a soul which wasn't very strong entered his range. He immediately sneaked toward that being that possessed a soul. A quarter of an hour later, he landed in a bush. Pant, pant, a bat-like abyss devil had wings covered in blood as it convulsed in the bush. His wings trembled and blood shot out. He clearly was seriously wounded. This kind of presence and soul. Qianlai felt slightly and knew that this abyss devil would not be stronger than rank 7. At present, a rank 7 abyss devil was an existence not worth any consideration. He openly revealed himself. Feeling the presence he deliberately released, that bat-like abyss devil hurriedly struggled and flew up. He flapped his wings as he asked in the ancient language of the abyss, "Lord, what do you need?" In his eyes, the devil-eyed Qianlai was elegant and noble. He was sure that this was a high-rank abyss devil. High-rank abyss devils were usually the descendants of the powerful first devils, and had exceptional bloodline and foundations in the abyss. Abyss devils like these were born different. They were the nobility. "I got lost in the abyss passageway. Which of the 8 purgatories is this?" Qianlai asked back in the language of the abyss. "This is the Yellow Springs Purgatory." The bat-like abyss devil became respectful. Only powerful abyss devils dared to move through the abyss passageway between the 8 purgatories. Hearing Qianlai had gotten lost in the abyss passageway, he immediately became more respectful and hurriedly said, "Lord, you were thrown out of the abyss passageway? This is very far from the abyss passageway. How did you get here?" Qianlai did not tell him and continued to ask, "Which direction is the abyss passageway?" "Over there, very far from here, and across the Nether River." The bat-like abyss devil looked in shock at him and said, "Lord, how did you pass the Nether River?" "Nether River?" Qianlai frowned. "You did not cross the Nether River to come here?" The bat-like abyss devil became even more surprised and asked curiously, "Did the power of the abyss passageway take you past the Nether River and send you here?" Whoosh! Qianlai ignored him, turning into a bolt of purple lightning and flying in the direction he pointed. He sprinted. Along the way, he felt the sole presence of other abyss devils. But the abyss devils he sensed did not appear to have high bloodline ranks. Abyss devils of that level did not have strong enough souls. He could feel them, but they didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. He easily avoided those abyss devils and sprinted towards the Nether River. A long time later, a vast inky black and winding river appeared suddenly in his eyes. The end of the black river seemed to connect with the sky in the distance as though it fell from the clouds. The river fell from the sky far away, wound its way to his position, and then flowed to an unknown place. The thick black river was 1,000 meters wide and dark and cold on the surface. He stood on the shore of the river and felt with his soul. He seemed to hear the weeping and screams of billions of souls in the Nether River. Only a careful probe already made him feel dizzy and depressed. There was an invisible barrier above Nether River, similar to the one that Zilin had made in Heavenly Een Valley to separate the bodies of Pei Dehong and the others from their soul altars. "Zilin!" Qianlai's expression changed. He hid slightly and gathered his soul consciousness into the soul-suppressing orb. A thread of his soul reached the 4th level of the soul-suppressing orb. "Zilin!" he called mentally, and the soul shadow immediately appeared next to Zilin's soul tree. In a pure soul tree state, Zilin's soul energy was being slowly absorbed by the soul-suppressing orb. Zilin's soul tree was several times smaller and blurrier. He felt with his soul and found that Zilin's consciousness, remnant thoughts, and memories were all gradually being destroyed. Even Zilin's soul origin seemed to be slowly disappearing. Yet in Zilin's soul mark, there was a dot of light flashing and showing no signs of disappearing. Also, when he stared at the light, he felt as though he was staring at the Nether River. Was this the power that Zilin comprehended from the profound Nether Sea? As he thought this, he attempted to feel with his soul and explore its secrets. Suddenly, Zilin's almost gone soul mark became powerful as though it was having its last struggle. Hiss, hiss. The soul threads appeared out of Zilin's soul mark and wrapped around his soul shadow. "Purgatory," You are in a purgatory. I smell the presence of the Nether River. Release me. Let me out. I can give you everything. Quick. Let me out. Bolts of Zillen's soul resolve bombarded him and attempted to make him muddle-minded and make a senseless decision. He had a feeling if he was the slightest bit careless and let Zillen leave and enter the Nether River, Zillen would be reborn in the Nether River and become harder to control. He tried to stop it. Explode! He attempted to use the power of the soul-suppressing orb to destroy Zillen's remaining soul mark. A strange light suddenly wrapped around Zillen's soul mark. Poof! Zillen's last bit of remnant soul immediately turned to nothing and disappeared. But the dot of light flew out of Zillen's exploding soul and was still stubbornly staying in the soul-suppressing orb. What is that? Qianlai's soul shadow attempted to feel again after Zillen's soul was destroyed. Boom! In a flash, countless unknown flowing lights and unordered symbols flooded into his soul. Many blurry images and disorderly runes filled the sky with light before pouring abruptly into Qianlai's soul, his soul energy quickly slipping away. It didn't take long before he lost a tremendous amount of soul energy and felt a wave of tiredness come over him. Whoosh! He pulled himself free from the soul by force before it could do him any real harm. The soul continued to glow darkly and emanate a strange, frosty aura. The dark light stubbornly existed even though it was trapped inside the soul-suppressing orb. It showed no signs of being refined whatsoever. On the contrary, Qianlai's soul had become translucent due to excessive loss of soul energy. It looked like it could disappear at any moment. Qianlai's soul consciousness exited from the soul-suppressing orb after that. Opening his eyes with a heavy look on his face, he muttered to himself, "My soul isn't strong enough to decipher the secrets of this dark light." In that extremely short period of time, his soul had felt a vast world filled with the light of runes. There was no order behind the runes and strange lights whatsoever. Qianlai spent some time studying what he had learned, and he managed to extract some information from the confusing images. There were a lot of tiny runes inside the profound nether sea of Nether Realm, and they all contained some truth or natural law. At first, the strange power was intact and whole. However, it had exploded into billions of random fragments and became scattered throughout the profound nether sea. A long time ago, Zillen's subsoul had escaped into the profound nether sea in order to escape the god race. It was at that moment he had sensed the broken runes and strange lights inside the profound nether sea. Zillen spent 10 millennia to gather the billions of rune fragments scattered throughout the profound nether sea together. Then, he spent another 20 millennia rearranging the runes in an attempt to restore it to its original appearance. It was during this process that he came to learn a small part of the profound nether sea's power. However, even this small amount of power was enough to restore his subsoul back to rank 10 and grant him the method to manipulate the phantoms. However, he hadn't been able to rearrange the rune fragments back to its original appearance completely until the day Latif and Malcolm came looking for him. This meant that Zillen hadn't been able to learn the true power of the fragments even after his soul consciousness was wiped out by Qianlai and the soul-suppressing orb completely. He had only mastered a small portion of its power. After his soul had returned to the void, the rune fragments he had combined with his soul fell into disorder once more. These rune fragments might look like a tiny dot of dark light, but in reality they were the combination of the billions of rune fragments found inside the profound nether sea. Because the rune fragments had been completely reset, Qianlai had to spend a huge amount of time rearranging them back to its original appearance like a puzzle if he wished to discover its secret. That was the only way to analyze the natural law hidden inside the dark speck of light. Zillen had spent 10 millennia gathering all the rune fragments scattered inside the profound nether sea and another 20 millennia trying to rearrange it back to its original appearance. However, he had been killed before he could complete his massive project. "This is useless to me." Qianlai shook his head and lost all interest in the dark dot of light all of a sudden. It was because he didn't believe that he could obtain anything from the dark light. There was simply no way he was going to spend an eternity rearranging the rune fragments back into normal like Zillen. Suddenly, Qianlai's disappointment was interrupted by a strange sensation coming from inside the soul-suppressing orb. He sent his soul consciousness back into orb once more. Inside the fourth space, a bubble had wrapped itself around the strange dark light. Countless brilliant lights could be circulating inside the bubble and seemingly entangling themselves around the dark light. He could sense that the soul-suppressing orb was analyzing the dark light's secrets on his behalf using a method he couldn't comprehend. Since the dark light was the culmination of the billions of rune fragments and light dots scattered inside the profound nether sea, its secrets could only be known after it had been rearranged properly. The bubbles inside the fourth space of the soul-suppressing orb were imprinted with the truths of many high-grade spirit diagrams. Each of them seemed to represent the direct representation of the laws of a secret art. "I hope you'll give me a pleasant surprise," Xianxia muttered to himself in a soul voice after confirming that the soul-suppressing orb was analyzing the truth of power inside that dark light using some sort of method. Then, he slowly retreated from the soul-suppressing orb once more. He hoped that the orb would bring him a miracle again. Unfortunately, he hadn't been able to obtain more info regarding the Nether River from Zillan. He couldn't help but feel a coming headache as he stared at the wide river. If he wished to proceed to the abyss passageway of the Yellow Springs Purgatory, he apparently had to cross to the other side of the Nether River. However, there was a natural barrier around the Nether River that was blocking his way. This barrier looked like the one at Heavenly Valley. If that barrier had the ability to separate one's soul altar and their physical body, then what would this barrier do to him and his god race companions? Would it separate their soul and physical body when they were attempting to pass through the Nether River? If that was the case, then wouldn't their souls be devoured by the Nether River instantly? Standing at the edge of the Nether River with a gloomy look, Xianxia kept trying to figure a way out of this situation. Roar! Suddenly, the blood-curdling scream of an abyss devil came from the other side of the Nether River, jolting him out of his thoughts. He immediately looked to the other side of the Nether River to see what was going on. He saw a creature that looked incredibly similar to the Nether giant tail lizard of Nether Realm running away from something at top speed. The lizard kept hissing and spitting thick demonic mist from its mouth like it was trying to avoid something. A while later, 3 high-rank abyss devils appeared behind the lizard. He suddenly discovered that these abyss devils looked a little similar to Digga. However, they were only at rank 6 bloodline. They felt much weaker compared to Digga as well. Are they the bloodline descendants of the Yellow Springs monarch? Guessed Xianxia in his mind. The devil monarch of the Yellow Springs Purgatory was rumored to be an extremely lustful abyss devil with hundreds of bloodline descendants. It was probably why he didn't care about his bloodline descendants too much, and even encouraged them to fight and kill each other for power. In his opinion, only those who survived a battle between themselves could truly awaken his core bloodline abilities and obtain his approval. Only 3 people had been acknowledged by the Yellow Springs monarch so far. Not even Digga, the abyss devil who had seemed so powerful back at the origin world, was acknowledged by the Yellow Springs monarch. The reason Digga had done everything in his power to enter the origin world and fought like his life was on the line was because he hoped to obtain the Yellow Springs monarch's approval. The information regarding the Yellow Springs monarch's bloodline descendants flashed across Xianxia's mind in an instant. The 3 abyss devils looked like they would catch up to that lizard any moment now. When the lizard reached the edge of the Nether River, it glanced back at the laughing high-rank abyss devils behind its back and the Nether River. In the end, it chose to make a gamble and jump across the Nether River. But just as the lizard was halfway across the Nether River, gray souls that looked like spirit snakes suddenly appeared from the bottom. The lizard's soul was instantly dragged out by the evil souls and torn to shreds in almost the blink of an eye. It was devoured completely before its physical body even hit the water. Damn that giant-tailed devil for wasting our time. We lost another prey again. We have to kill a stronger enemy, or our bloodline growth will remain as terrible as it is now. This can't continue, or we'll soon be killed by our brothers and sisters. The 3 high-rank abyss devils swore angrily and regretfully on the other side of the Nether River. Hey! Who are you? Suddenly, one of the high-rank abyss devils shouted at Xianxia from the other side of the Nether River. I see. The Nether giant-tailed lizard is called the giant-tailed devil in the abyss. Xianxia muttered to himself while frowning. The profound Nether Sea at Nether Realm is part of the Nether River, so it's possible that some life seeds from the 8 purgatories had been carried into Netherrealm this way. It's probably why a large majority of the beasts in Netherrealm had low-rank Abyss Devil race bloodline in them. "Hey, guy on the other side! We're talking to you!" yelled the high-rank Abyss Devil angrily. Qianlai withdrew his thoughts and suppressed the Abyss Devil race bloodline inside his body on purpose. It was so that he would appear to be of lower rank than he actually was. Then, he grinned at the 3 high-rank Abyss Devil on the other side of the Nether River and gave them a middle finger, saying, "You're all trash. You hear me? You are courting death." Qianlai's taunt instantly pissed off the 3 high-rank Abyss Devils on the other side of the Nether River. Qianlai gave off the feeling that he was a rank 6 bloodline Abyss Devil just like them, but they also outnumbered him 3 to 1. "I'm pretty you heard me calling you trash, right? The 3 of you couldn't even kill a giant-tailed devil despite chasing it all the way to the Nether River. What else could you possibly be?" Qianlai taunted in a provocative tone. "Also, so what if I'm courting my own death? It's not like you can cross the Nether River. I swear the first thing I'll do after the barrier on the Nether River has disappeared is to kill you. It's not like the Nether River's barrier will remain forever. Just you wait. The Nether River's barrier will be disappearing for 15 minutes in just another 30 hours. Better enjoy your final hours while you still can." The 3 bloodline descendants of the Yellow Springs monarch threatened him harshly. "I see. So the barrier isn't permanent after all. It'll disappear for 15 minutes, 30 hours from now." Qianlai turned around and left the area after obtaining the information he wanted from the 3 pitifully weak Yellow Spring monarch bloodline descendants. 30 hours. After counting the time in his head, he realized that he needed to bring Ganxing and the others over as quickly as possible. He was worried that they wouldn't make it in time. Qianlai activated his bloodline power and ran across Yellow Springs Purgatory like lightning. He didn't forget to keep his guard up and scan his surroundings with his soul constantly. A long time later, he finally returned to the mountain peak he and his companions had fallen onto. "I told you he'd come back." Ganxing smiled when he saw Qianlai running towards them. Lu Yong and Xian Luo had known Qianlai for a longer period of time than most, so they didn't look particularly surprised by his return. On the other hand, Mia and Song Yi had to hide their sigh of relief. They didn't know Qianlai too well because they hadn't associated with him for too long. They had been worried that Qianlai would leave them behind and go off on his own. After all, it wasn't difficult for Qianlai to survive alone in this purgatory. He had his Abyss Devil form after all. However, their presence made it an entirely different story. "We're in Yellow Springs Purgatory. Unfortunately, we're quite far away from the Abyss Passageway, and there's the Nether River blocking our way." Qianlai immediately explained where they were the moment he returned. "The Nether River." A glint flashed across Xianxia's eyes. "I heard that the Nether River is pretty difficult to cross. It's not easy, all right?" Qianlai nodded before explaining the giant-tailed devil's instantaneous death earlier. Everyone's expression turned ugly after they'd heard his story. None of them had a clue how to cross the river without dying. Fortunately, the barrier surrounding the Nether River isn't a permanent thing. It seems that it disappears for 15 minutes every once in a while. Qianlai urged after the brief explanation. "Right now, our first priority is to make it to the Nether River as quickly as we can. Then, we can cross over to the other side of the Nether River and seek out the Abyss Passageway." "Understood." Ganxing nodded. After everyone had come to an agreement, Qianlai led the way as they rushed toward the Nether River. Qianlai didn't cancel his Abyss Devil form as he kept probing his surroundings with his soul perception. He sensed many Abyss Devils along the way. Their soul power was not worth mentioning, and their bloodlines were only at rank 6 or even lower. Although these Abyss Devils were nothing to him, he still chose to avoid them in order to make it to the Nether River as quickly as possible. Thanks to his efforts, the group was able to make progress towards the Nether River without a fight. However, Qianlai started noticing that something was amiss 4 hours later. He noticed that more and more low-rank Abyss Devils were moving in the opposite direction away from the Nether River. His soul perception was telling him that a lot of Abyss Devils nearby and near the Nether River were moving away as far away from the Nether River as possible. It was almost as if they were trying to run away from something. Strange? While he was muttering to himself, a familiar soul suddenly appeared in his perception. It was the bat-shaped abyss devil he had run into earlier. "Stay here and wait for me," instructed Qianlai after turning around to face Ganxing. "What's wrong?" asked Ganxing. "It's nothing. I'm just heading over to ask a couple of questions." After that, he flew away from the group. His companions clearly looked like God race clansmen. Their presence alone would probably cause a huge commotion if they ran into any abyss devils. That was why Qianlai chose to seek out that bat-shaped abyss devil alone. There was no need to incur unnecessary trouble. Very soon, he found the abyss devil he was looking for. He was surprised to find that the latter was looking a lot better compared to the last time. At the very least, the little bat abyss devil was no longer bleeding from his bony wings. He was also flying away from the Nether River. "My lord, why are you here?" The low-rank abyss devil was pleasantly surprised to see Qianlai. An instant later, he realized what was going on and said, "What am I talking about? Of course you're here. You are a powerful and noble abyss devil, so it's only natural that you're not going to stay here for long. Seeing that the barrier above the Nether River is soon to disappear, you must be planning to leave soon, aren't you, my lord?" The low-rank abyss devil was speaking as if he completely understood Qianlai's motivations through and through. Qianlai was surprised by his outburst, but he quickly asked, "Why are you guys running away?" "Well, of course we have to run away." Fear appeared in the little bat abyss devil's eyes before he explained. "When the barrier on the Nether River disappears, those powerful and tyrannical high-rank abyss devils on the other side will cross over and slaughter us like lambs. It is their custom to try and kill every abyss devil whom they think has a chance of growing strong enough to cross over to their side of the Nether River before returning back to their territory. That's why we're running away from the Nether River while the barrier is down until 15 minutes are up. I am too weak. I don't want to be caught in the crossfire and killed offhandedly simply because I was too near to the Nether River. Moreover, I'm nowhere strong enough to cross over to the other side of the Nether River. That's why I have no choice but to stay out of the fight. Anyone who thinks themselves powerful enough to cross over to the other side of the Nether River must do their best to survive the slaughter for 15 minutes. If they are still alive when 15 minutes are up, they'll be allowed to cross over to the other side of the Nether River." The little bat's explanation ended there. It was at this moment Qianlai sensed a rank 7 abyss devil flying toward the Nether River. This rank 7 abyss devil was obviously much stronger than the abyss devils who were running away from the Nether River. If the little bat abyss devil's explanation were to be trusted, this rank 7 abyss devil was one of the stronger ones who were looking to prove his strength and cross over to the other side of the Nether River. I see. He now understood what was going on here. My lord, I'm just asking, but can you take me with you when you cross over to the other side?" begged the little abyss devil. Unfortunately, Qianlai had already left his side by the time he uttered the words. When he returned to Ganxing and the others, he said with a heavy look, "The situation isn't looking too good for us." "What's wrong?" asked Ganxing anxiously. He told them everything the little bat had told him before concluding. "I thought that there wouldn't be too many abyss devils on both sides of the Nether River when the barrier disappears, but... So, you're saying that both sides of the Nether River will be filled with powerful abyss devils when the barrier disappears?" Xianxia frowned. "Amen. It wouldn't be a problem for me to cross over to the other side of the Nether River. But the rest of you are pure God race clansmen. Not only will you become the focus of those abyss devils if you show yourselves, your identities will be exposed even if you successfully make it to the other side." Qianlai explained with a bitter look. "I don't think the powerful abyss devils on the other side of the Nether River will let you reach the abyss passageway unimpeded if they notice you at all. Sigh. In the end it is all for nothing." Mia sighed. Everyone was looking depressed as well. But Xianxia suddenly said, "There is one way." "What do you mean?" Mia's spirits suddenly lifted slightly. Xianxia looked at Qianlai before saying, "If any abyss devils on either side of the Nether River were to notice us, they'd probably spread news about us and expose us immediately. Even if we managed to kill all of them, some of them would still learn that the God race had somehow entered Yellow Springs Purgatory." "That is correct. Qianlai nodded. But we probably won't be exposed if it's just you. Song Yi hesitated for a second before forcing herself to speak. If you kill off all the Abyss Devils on both sides of the Nether River before 15 minutes are up, then no one will see us when we cross over to the other side. If no one sees us, then we won't be impeded or hunted down by squads of Abyss Devils while we're making way towards the Abyss Passageway. Sister Song Yi. He's only one person. There's no way he can kill off all the Abyss Devils on both sides of the Nether River in just 15 minutes, screamed Mia of the Profound Ice family. Ganxing and Lu Yang thought that Song Ye's suggestion was too much as well. But Qianlai said solemnly, I'll give it a try. On the other side of the Nether River. The 3 high-rank Abyss Devils who had been verbally humiliated by Qianlai earlier arrived at the Nether River 4 hours ahead of the usual time. Moreover, each of them had brought a rank 8 Abyss Devil with them. They were high-rank Abyss Devils and the direct descendants of the Yellow Springs monarch. If they were lucky enough to awaken a powerful bloodline ability, they would quickly rise to the top in terms of identity and status. It was why many rank 9 Lords of the Abyss were willing to gamble and bribe them despite being much stronger than they were. These 3 rank 8 Abyss Devils had been instructed by their respective Lords of the Abyss to serve under the descendants despite being much more powerful than they were. Young Masters, what bloodline rank do you think that guy on the other side of the Nether River is? A rank 8 giant scorpion devil sways its scorpion-like tail and asked respectfully. He's at rank 7 bloodline at best, answered one of the high-rank Abyss Devils. Rank 7 bloodline. The giant scorpion devil nodded slowly as its faint purple-colored pupils glinted cruelly. He's probably showing up, isn't he? That's right. The barrier surrounding the Nether River only disappears for 15 minutes every millennium. It's unlikely that this guile let this chance slip by if he had indeed improved his bloodline to rank 7. The high-rank Abyss Devil with the Yellow Springs monarch's blood in him snorted coldly. If he misses this opportunity, he'll have to wait another millennium for an opportunity. Most of the Abyss Devils on the other side of the Nether River are rank 7 and below, and it'd be nearly impossible for him to ascend to rank 8 even with that time. Rank 7 bloodline is definitely sufficient to cross the Nether River. If he fails, he would have to wait another millennium to make another gambit. He would very likely be stuck at rank 7 during this time. The rank 8 giant scorpion devil nodded. Don't worry, young Master Kappas. We'll definitely kill him if he shows his face. The high-rank Abyss Devil named Kappas licked the corner of his lips before saying, We'll be crossing over to the other side of the Nether River to kill some Nether River crossers as well. No problem. The rank 8 giant scorpion devil replied respectfully, We guarantee that nothing unexpected will happen with the 3 of us in charge. He shot a look at the other 2 rank 8 Abyss Devils, and they hurriedly nodded in a humble manner as well. The last time the barrier was down, not a single one of the Nether River crossers had reached rank 8. The giant scorpion devil's eyes were filled with scorn. It is to be expected, though. The Abyss Devil energy on the other side is slightly poor in terms of purity and richness, and it isn't easy to ascend to rank 8 just relying on the bloodline of low-rank Abyss Devils. I heard that every Nether River crosser who had made the attempt was killed because they didn't have a rank 8 Abyss Devil to lead them. There wasn't even someone who made it over by sheer luck. Things are completely different if there is a rank 8 Abyss Devil, though. Another rank 8 Abyss Devil, a golden-armored battle devil, said in a cold and metallic voice. That was the case during the second last attempt. A rank 8 Abyss Devil had appeared and successfully led a dozen or so rank 7 Abyss Devils to this side of the Nether River. Oh, is he powerful? Kappas asked curiously. The golden-armored battle devil stiffened for a second before replying reverently, Very. How so? Kappas wanted to know exactly how he was powerful. Leading a group of rank 7 Abyss Devils, he successfully killed more than half of our companions. I was only at rank 7 at the time, but I was fortunate enough to participate in the fight and watch him slaughter everyone, said the golden-armored battle devil. Who is he? Asked the young Kappas in astonishment. The giant scorpion devil's haunt wasn't nearby, and he wasn't sure what happened at the Nether River 2 millennia ago either. That was why he was also puzzled. A successful Nether River crosser can't possibly be unknown. Is he still alive today? Oh, he's alive, and he's doing better than ever before, replied the golden-armored battle devil seriously. Who is he? Asked Kappas again. He is Lord Dabinet, yelled the golden-armored battle devil. All 3 Yellow Springs monarch descendants and the other 2 high-rank Abyss devils turned pale with shock. Dabinet was the most mighty lord of the Abyss in the Yellow Springs monarch right now. Ever since he had ascended to rank 9 and become an official lord of the Abyss, he had been repeatedly challenging all nearby lords of the Abyss to a fight. Up until now, he had killed and devoured the hearts of 6 other lords of the Abyss. Even the Yellow Springs monarch was looking favorably on him, believing that he was the one with the greatest chance to become a great lord of the Abyss out of everyone. There shouldn't be a rank 8 Abyss devil on the other side of the Nether River, right? The giant scorpion devil muttered to himself. On the other side of the Nether River. More and more rank 7 Abyss devils had shown their faces by the riverbank as time passed. On their side of the Nether River, these rank 7 Abyss devils were entities of absolute power. Only these Abyss devils would try to cross over to the other side of the Nether River while its barrier was gone for 15 minutes. All others below rank 7 had escaped the Nether River a long while ago. Soon, the only Abyss devils left on the riverbank were rank 7. All of them had started off as low-rank Abyss devils. Although they were already at rank 7 Bloodline, most of them were still lacking somewhat in the intelligence department. Most of them had eyes filled with violence and animalistic instinct. That being said, there were a few lucky fellows who seemed a bit smarter than the rest because they had the fortune to pick up the blood of high-rank Abyss devils during their climb to the top. However, even the stupidest Abyss devil knew what was going to happen when the Nether River's barrier had fallen completely. They knew that the Abyss devils on the other side of the Nether River would attack them like crazy. In order to buy themselves enough time to cross the Nether River and survive, most of the Abyss devils here would refrain from engaging each other in combat. No matter how big a grudge between 2 Abyss devils were, they would choose to call a truce during this sensitive time. It was because the survivor would have to bear the full brunt of the enemy's attack if they engaged each other in combat and killed their opponent. The more Abyss devils there were on their side of the Nether River, the more spread out the pressure they would have to endure. That was why everyone was keeping silent and controlling themselves. Whoosh! Suddenly, a demonic figure flew over from the distance and appeared in the middle of the rank 7 Abyss devils. His powerful aura enveloped all nearby rank 7 Abyss devils instantly. Lamont! Lamont! You've ascended to rank 8. He's Lord Dabinet's blood-related younger brother. He has finally ascended to rank 8. This is wonderful. With Lamont on our side, a third of us may be able to cross over to the other side of the Nether River. The group of rank 7 Abyss devils boiled up in excitement when they noticed that the newcomer was at rank 8. Their chances of successfully crossing over to the other side just increased drastically thanks to the addition of Lamont. Suddenly, another Abyss devil showed up in the middle of the cheer. Lamont noticed him before the rank 7 Abyss devil's cheers had ended. He abruptly stared at Xianxia and asked sternly, "Who are you?" Lamont's question stunned every rank 7 Abyss devil. It was at this moment Xianxia's figure suddenly became clearer. He's a high-rank Abyss devil. Why would a high-rank Abyss devil be on this side of the Nether River? Strange. A lot of rank 7 Abyss devils exclaimed in surprise after seeing Xianxia clearly. It was almost impossible for a pure high-rank Abyss devil to appear in the area they were in because powerful high-rank Abyss devils were almost always descended from a lord or great lord of the Abyss. Logically speaking, a descendant like Xianxia should appear on the other side of the Nether River, not here. Even Dabinet and Lamont, a rank 9 lord of the Abyss and his rank 8 brother, had to start off as a low-rank Abyss devil. Lamont was over 10 meters tall, and he was a hurricane dragon devil. However, Xianxia in his Abyss devil form was only over 3 meters tall. Deep purple pupils, hair, full armor, and spikes on his elbow and knee areas. They were all characteristics only a high-rank Abyss devil would have. This high-rank Abyss devil clearly should have appeared on the other side on the Nether River, not here. That was his appearance had confused all the Abyss devils gathered here. That's him. Capys, the descendant of the Yellow Springs monarch, suddenly screamed when Qianlai appeared. What? A high-rank Abyss Devil? Why would a high-rank Abyss Devil appear on that side of the Nether River? Asked the giant Scorpion Devil. Young masters, do you know why he's over there and not here? The golden-armored Battle Devil was surprised as well. I don't know, Capys said in a chilling tone. And I don't care. Just kill him when the barrier falls. Understand? We will, answered the giant Scorpion Devil. He dared not disobey Capys's order because he was the bloodline descendant of the Yellow Springs monarch, the most powerful rank 9 Abyss Devil in this purgatory. Even if Qianlai was a high-rank Abyss Devil just like Capys was, he was definitely less important. Moreover, Qianlai was currently on the other side of the Nether River, and it was their mission to kill every Abyss Devil who tried to cross over from the other side. I've never seen you before. Lamont the Hurricane Dragon Devil flapped his wings and approached Qianlai menacingly. I'd lived here for over 5,000 years, and I know every powerful Abyss Devil there is on this land. There's no way I would miss you if you're a denizen of this land. Who are you? Why have you come to our home? And how did you cross over from the other side of the Nether River? That's right. He's definitely from the other side of the Nether River. Who cares how he made it over from the other side? Let's kill him first. Kill him. The Abyss Devils who were already impatient from waiting grew excited as they stared brutally at Qianlai, their mouths salivating uncontrollably. A rank 7 Frost Hellstone Devil roared and became the first to charge Qianlai. Bloodline. Petrify. The Abyss Devil was almost 10 meters tall, and the color of his skin was stone gray. When Qianlai stared at the Abyss Devil, he immediately felt a surge of bloodline power bursting from his attacker's eyes. Crack, crack. Qianlai's bones started stiffening all over without warning. It was as if they were turning into stone. Rank 7, he snorted in his head, but chose not to react immediately. Instead, he waited quietly as the offending Abyss Devil continued to increase his bloodline power. Seeing that Qianlai wasn't reacting to him, the rank 7 Frost Hellstone Devil grew even more careless. Crack, crack. In just the blink of an eye, more than half of Qianlai's body had become covered in stone. It looks like this high-rank Abyss Devil hasn't even experienced bloodshed. What a free kill this is. The Abyss Devil roared and swung its giant claws straight towards Qianlai's head. Bang! It was at this moment hundreds of gray-brown light beams suddenly burst out of Qianlai's body. The Frost Hell Abyss Devil's bloodline power was instantly cleared out at the first beat of his Abyss Devil heart. Qianlai's devilized body suddenly grew several inches taller, and he cut off the Frost Hell Stone Devil's head easily with the sharp talons on his left hand. Qianlai appeared beside another Abyss Devil and slammed his shoulder into an Abyss Devil's heart before the blood had even hit the ground. Pooh! The sharp spike on his shoulder instantly penetrated the Abyss Devil and killed him instantly. Bloodline ability, Golden Light. Countless rays of golden light burst out of his devilized body and put holes in all nearby rank 7 Abyss Devils. Wait a second! The golden-armored Battle Devil exclaimed in shock from the other side of the Nether River. His bloodline is at rank 8. He's a rank 8 Abyss Devil just like us. It was pretty clear from the giant Scorpion Devil's exclamation of surprise that he was feeling hesitant. It was incredibly unusual for a rank 8 high-rank Abyss Devil to appear on the wrong side of the Nether River during such a sensitive timing. The giant Scorpion Devil's bloodline wasn't far away from rank 9. His intelligence was outstanding compared to most Abyss Devils. There was clearly something wrong about this whole thing. So what if he's at rank 8? Capys stared at the 3 Abyss Devils coldly. You're all rank 8 Abyss Devils yourselves. Don't tell me the 3 of you together aren't enough to take him down? Also, did you forget that you were told to obey our orders no matter what? Unable to deny the truth in his words, the giant Scorpion Devil nodded helplessly. That is what my lord told me, yes? Then all you need to do is to obey my command. Capys snorted. Unless you believe that an unknown high-rank Abyss Devil is more important than the 3 of us? Are you planning to offend us just to appease that high-rank Abyss Devil? We would not dare. replied the giant scorpion devil fearfully. If any one of us awakens one of our father's main bloodline abilities when we ascend to rank 8, it is only a matter of time before we become lords of the abyss. Kappas threatened with his head held high. You understand what will happen then, don't you? I understand. The giant scorpion devil thought to himself for a moment before answering. We will head over and kill him the moment the barrier on the Nether River has disappeared. Now we're talking, said Kappas in satisfaction. Poo pew poo. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Nether River, Xianxia was killing the rank 7 abyss devils with his golden light ability. Whoosh! A while later, even the rank 8 Lamont had decided to join the battle. There's a few minutes left. I need to kill you all as quickly as possible, so I can clean up the abyss devils on the other side of the Nether River. Crack! He casually crushed a rank 7 abyss devil's neck before letting out a roar. Then, he abruptly charged towards Lamont while covered in abyss devil energy. Lamont summoned 2 violent hurricanes from the surroundings with his bloodline power. Purple smoke was exiting his nostrils, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Whoosh! He swung his left hand, and the 100-meter-tall hurricane on his left side abruptly moved towards Xianxia. Lamont! Kill him quickly, our time's almost up. The barrier around the Nether River is about to disappear. The remaining rank 7 abyss devils could see that the Nether River was covered in gray mist. Glug glug! The normally calm waters of the Nether River were bubbling like something was boiling it from below. You. The cries of phantoms and wraiths started resounding in the minds of every nearby abyss devil. It made them feel disturbed and irritated. All the signs were pointing to the barrier outside the Nether River dissipating for the first time in 1,000 years. It's almost time, Xianxia muttered to himself while staring at the incoming hurricane. Then, he summoned the spirit energy in his Dantian spirit sea. Rip! A purple lightning bolt appeared right before the hurricane could envelop him. Lamont! Kill him! Kill him! Ah! The rank 7 abyss devil who was shouting at Lamont to kill Xianxia was suddenly torn into shreds. ZZZT! ZZZT! The purple lightning bolt Xianxia had summoned kept swimming back and forth between screaming abyss devils, killing them one by one. Boom! A strange noise suddenly came from above the Nether River. It was as if a giant, invisible door had suddenly been opened. The barrier's gone, yelled Kappas from the other side of the Nether River. However, despite his enthusiasm, he was retreating instead of charging ahead. He stared fiercely at the 3 rank 8 abyss devils he had summoned and elicited a nod from the giant scorpion devil. Time's up. Let's get to the other side of the Nether River and kill all the Nether River crossers. Leave no one alive. Let's go. Leading a dozen or so heavily armored and well-equipped abyss devils, the 3 rank 8 abyss devils roared and charged to the opposite side of the Nether River. Xianxia seized an opening to shoot a glance at the charging group. As expected, they hadn't been killed by the Nether River. This meant that the barrier above the Nether River had disappeared. 15 minutes. You only have 15 minutes, shouted Kappas, stamping his foot. Kill! Roared the giant scorpion devil angrily. Aren't we going as well, big brother? One of the high-rank abyss devils next to Kappas asked. I thought the original plan was to be on the other side of the Nether River and kill some foolish abyss devils for ourselves? Kappas shot him a glance and said coldly, Are we at rank 8 already? No, the 3 of us aren't rank 8 yet, but those 2 fellows on the other side of the Nether River are both at rank 8. Kappas said darkly, How can you be sure that we'll be safe and sound if we head over there? The 2 high-rank abyss devils who shared his blood suddenly fell silent. Stay alert. Both those rank 8 abyss devils don't look like easy opponents at all. Kappas pondered for a moment before adding, If the situation goes bad, we will leave this place immediately. Understand? Ignore everything and just run. You can't possibly think that those 2 people are stronger than all of us combined? Who knows? Kappas retreated slowly even as he spoke. Judging from his posture, he would leave the second the situation even looked a bit out of control. His movements made the other 2 high-rank abyss devils grow wary as well. They too started to move backwards covertly just like Kappas. Has it begun, Kappas? It was at this moment a familiar voice suddenly reached them from a distance. Then a high-rank abyss devil slowly walked into view. Digga, why are you here? I thought you'd already been exiled? The trio looked terrified by his appearance. Floating like a ghost, Digga landed lightly next to the trio before smiling at them. Aren't we all blood brothers? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh right. Shouldn't the three of you be calling me older brother? Why are you here, Digga? Asked Kappas instead of answering any of Digga's questions. What a rude fellow. Well, I suppose it's understandable considering that your mother is just a lowly spider devil. Digga shook his head while clicking his tongue. In fact, her bloodline is so pathetic that her children could never make it big. Not even if with the minuscule traces of father's blood supporting them. TSK. Where do you even find the face to parade yourself like a peacock using father's name? You useless trash. How dare you humiliate our mother? I'll kill you, screamed one of the high-rank abyss devils madly. Digga simply smiled and shook his head. Swoosh! An instant later, he landed next to the enraged abyss devil and plunged his hand right through the latter's head. FIA? Shouted Kappas and the other high-rank abyss devil in rage. Digga raised his hand and pulled the other high-rank abyss devil into his grasp with energy. Clutching the abyss devil by the neck, he stared emotionlessly at Kappas and asked, You three were the ones who leaked my whereabouts and nearly got me killed, weren't you? So what if we were? Countered Kappas in his madness. Perfect. Digga nodded and broke the second high-rank abyss devil's neck. Then he landed next to Kappas and said, You understand that me being alive means that the three of you can only die, don't you? Your good fortune will run out. Your fate will definitely be worse than ours. Your own blood brother, born from the same father and mother, wants to take your life. And you won't so lucky as to escape your fate next time. I swear you will die at your own brother's hands. Cursed Kappas. That is for me to worry, not you. Digga stepped on Kappas and crushed his chest with his feet. Just like that. After killing all three of his half-brothers, Digga finally turned his attention to the other shore of the Nether River and muttered to himself. Interesting, there are 2 rank 8 fellows who are planning to cross the Nether River this time. 2 millennia ago, Dormant had survived the crossing and became one of the mightiest of this purgatory's lords of the abyss. Would these 2 rank 8 abyss devils grow up to become as great as Dormant as well? I'm actually looking forward to this a little. He observed the battle curiously from the other side. That abyss devil. Why do I feel like I've seen him before? Strange. The more Digga stared at the devil-eyed Xianxia, the deeper his frown became. Back at the origin world, Xianxia hadn't transformed into an abyss devil completely. All of Digga's memories and impressions regarding Xianxia were from the origin world, which was why he wasn't able to recognize him immediately despite the latter's familiar presence. Digga, why is he here? However, Xianxia had instantly recognized Digga the second he saw him. If I remember correctly, Digga seems to hail from Yellow Springs Purgatory. Xianxia's surprise lasted for an instant before he recalled that Digga, the abyss devil he had met at the origin world, was a denizen of this place. Die! The rank 8 giant scorpion devil suddenly roared while he was distracted. Its long tail cut across the air in high speed and caused a shrill whistle. At the same time, a giant black warhammer carrying a great amount of purple abyss devil energy appeared from the giant scorpion devil's chest and flew towards Xianxia. Bang! The warhammer slammed into Xianxia's shoulder like a mountain and destroyed 5 of shoulder spikes instantly. That wasn't all. Xianxia could feel an immense energy surging into his shoulder bones through the warhammer. An odd glint flashed across his eyes. He could sense that the rank 8 giant scorpion devil was sending waves of bloodline energy into his body and destroying his bones. At nearly the same time, the rank 8 golden armored battle devil swung a 10-meter-tall mace straight towards his skull. Out of my way! Xianxia abruptly looked up as lightning appeared in his deep purple pupils. He glared fiercely at the golden armored battle devil as he generated a mental storm from his soul that invaded the latter's mind directly. The golden-armored battle devil suddenly started spitting blood before the giant mace had even hit Xianxia. You! The golden-armored battle devil clutched his ears and discovered that his nostrils and his eyes were bleeding madly. Xianxia lost his concentration again. It was because he had sensed a strange vibration from the soul-suppressing orb while attacking the golden-armored battle devil with a soul race secret art. In that moment, it was almost as if he could hear the screams and cries of the billions of phantoms and wraiths residing inside the Nether River. It was almost as if they had suddenly found an outlet and converged upon it. This outlet was the target of his soul race secret art, the golden-armored battle devil. A rank 8 golden-armored battle devil's soul might be nothing next to a soul race clansman at the same rank, but he had had to deal with the giant scorpion devil and recover his shoulder wound with his abyss devil race bloodline. The soul race secret art he unleashed in a hurry shouldn't have dealt so much damage to his opponent. However, not only was the rank 8 golden-armored battle devil bleeding from his nose and his eyes, he could vaguely see a bunch of phantoms and wraiths flying into the abyss devil's head as well. Roar! The golden-armored battle devil roared madly as his soul presence faded away like a drained well. In just several seconds, he sensed that the golden-armored battle devil's soul had perished completely. You die too. He turned on the giant scorpion devil and used the same art again. Boom! The giant scorpion devil felt as if an unknown power had struck him squarely in the mind. Blood started pouring uncontrollably from the pores of the giant scorpion devil's neck. At the same time, he noticed wisps of black smoke seeping into the giant scorpion devil's body. An instant later, the rank 8 giant scorpion devil's soul was completely gone. Something's not right. He could clearly sense the dot of dark light that represented Zilin blinking once inside the fourth space of the soul-suppressing orb while he was executing a soul race secret art. Somehow, that instantaneous blink seemed to awaken the Nether River's power and opened an outlet to the billions of wraiths and phantoms residing inside it. By the time he finally came back to himself, the giant scorpion devil and golden-armored battle devil's souls had crumbled into nothing already. This power... Xianxia himself was stunned by this power. He obviously hadn't mastered the Dark Light's power or figured out its intricacies, but it reacted anyway when he used a soul race secret art against the golden-armored battle devil and the giant scorpion devil. The Nether River. Is it because I'm too close to the Nether River? Or is it because the situation is special this time? His mind started to fly away from his present reality again. This guy. All the Abyss Devils who were watching the giant Scorpion Devil and golden-armored battle devils battle against Xianxia and sudden demise stared at Xianxia in shock and fear. It was to the point where they had forgotten that they were in the middle of a battle. Let's try it again. Xianxia inhaled deeply before gathering all of his soul power at once. Then he unleashed his soul race secret art for the third time. Suddenly, the screams and cries of the wraiths and phantoms inside the Nether River grew at least dozens of times stronger. Even he, the caster himself, had to cover up his ears and create a barrier around his eardrums to isolate the murderous voices. This time, he could clearly see the light dot inside the fourth space of the soul-suppressing orb flash brightly for a brief moment. Upon further inspection, however, he couldn't sense any special presence or abnormality from the light dot at all. But he knew that the light dot contained the fragmented secret art Zilin had spent tens of millennia trying to reassemble in the profound Nether Sea. This light dot contained the profound Nether Sea's greatest truth of power. It was capable of mobilizing all its power even before Zilin had mastered it fully. Coincidentally, the profound Nether Sea was a branch of the Nether River. Why is this happening now? I didn't sense anything particularly special when I came to the Nether River last time and scanned the area with my soul. Is it because the barrier above the Nether River had vanished? Why is this happening? Why? He kept questioning himself in an attempt to understand the unusual phenomenon. But the unusual silence that was enveloping his surroundings had gotten to him first. He abruptly broke out of his trance and looked around him. It was then he realized that every Abyss Devil on the battlefield except him had perished. No one, not even the last of the 3 rank 8 Abyss Devils, Lamont, or the rank 7 Abyss Devils on both shores, had survived his soul attack. When he paid close attention, he started noticing clumps of soul fragments falling into the Nether River. These soul fragments obviously belonged to the Abyss Devils he had just killed. It would appear that his enemies had perished instantly the second he unleashed the Soul Race secret art. His own power stupefied him. On the other side of the Nether River, Diga, the brother killer, was staring at Xianxia in shock as well. "Xianxia!" exclaimed the Abyss Devil in realization. When Xianxia had unleashed his Soul Race secret art, his unique soul presence had become clear. Diga's soul mastery wasn't bad for an Abyss Devil. Although he wasn't able to identify Xianxia based on his devilized appearance at first, his identity became clear after his soul presence was unveiled. Diga stared at Xianxia in astonishment and a hint of fear. It was because Xianxia had killed all of the Abyss Devils around him in less than a second right before his eyes. Diga had to put his life on the line to evolve his bloodline to rank 8. He had thought himself stronger than anyone when he first stepped into the origin world. However, Xianxia had easily killed every Abyss Devil on both sides of the Nether River in just a moment. Among the victims were 4 rank 8 Abyss Devils who were supposed to be as powerful as him as well. "It's barely been a few years since our last meeting. It's barely been a few years. How is he so powerful already? I can't believe this!" shouted Diga in his head. He couldn't accept the reality that had happened before his eyes. "Diga!" Still in his Abyss Devil form, Xianxia called out to Diga from the other side of the Nether River in a low tone. Diga shook when Xianxia stared at him and called out his name. A strong sense of anxiety suddenly rose from the bottom of his heart. In that moment, Diga felt like a powerful and bloodthirsty lord of the Abyss had set his eyes on him. His Abyss Devil race bloodline boiled up in readiness before his mind had even caught up to reality. The Abyss Devil abruptly realized that Xianxia was planning to kill him as well. Diga looked around himself before staring at the dead Abyss Devils surrounding Xianxia. He abruptly understood the predicament he was in. Diga hurriedly shouted a reply before Xianxia could claim his life. "Long time no see. Xianxia, why are you here in Yellow Springs Purgatory? Are you here for Sister Ling? If that's the case, I have some news that I can share with you." He knew just how close Xianxia and Ling Yushi were, so he brought her name to protect himself. The effect was immediate and very obvious. Xianxia's killing intent immediately grew much thinner from before. Suddenly, Xianxia turned away and roared towards a particular direction without warning. At first, Diga was caught off guard by Xianxia's sudden action and thought that he had discovered a danger or something. His face immediately turned serious. However, Xianxia crossed the Nether River without any pause or hesitation after the roar. Since the space above the Nether River was no longer shielded, Xianxia was able to cross over the Nether River easily. A moment later, Xianxia stopped next to Diga and glanced at the 3 dead bodies beside the Abyss Devil. He asked curiously, "Were you the one who killed them?" "Yes," replied Diga honestly. "I heard that they're direct descendants of the Yellow Springs monarch." "Weren't you all brothers of the same blood?" Xianxia sounded astonished. "We share the same father, but not the same mother." Diga smiled, but it was a bitter smile no matter how one looked at it. "So what if we share the same father? My own older brother, my full brother, had tried to kill me twice already. If I couldn't steel my heart against my 3 half-brothers, then how could I possibly go against my older brother?" Xianxia fell silent for a moment before asking, "The Yellow Springs monarch doesn't care about this infighting? Why would he?" Diga let out a loud, neurotic laugh before continuing. "If he truly didn't care about us, why would so many of us even bother fighting each other to the death? In my opinion, this sibling conflict is the entire reason he raised us in the first place. He wants us to fight each other nonstop until he can choose a worthy successor from the survivors. In his eyes, those who were killed didn't deserve to live, let alone share his blood. He'd rather see this trash die in the hands of their own siblings than outsiders." Xianxia shook his head and commented, "Devils truly are incomprehensible madmen." Swoosh swoosh. Suddenly, the God Race clansmen appeared on the other side of the Nether River. They had rushed out of their hiding spot quickly after hearing Xianxia's signal, and they all felt a moment of shock. when they saw the litter of bodies at the riverbank of the Nether River. There were 50 or so Abyss Devils in total. Most of them were at rank 7, but there were a couple who were at rank 8. However, all these Abyss Devils were killed in just a few moments. Mia, the only God Race clansman in the group who didn't know Qianlai intimately, wasn't the only one who was shocked. Ganxing, Songyi, and the others were flabbergasted as well. He killed them all. He actually managed to kill them all. He may be at rank 8 Bloodline, but there are 4 rank 8 Abyss Devils here in total, muttered Mia to herself. Stop wasting time. Let's go, yelled Songyi. The rest of the group immediately reined in their shock and flew across the Nether River. Eh, Digga. That's Digga, isn't it? Exclaimed Ganxing, Songyi of the Darkness family. Digga was stunned by their arrival as well. Qianlai immediately acted to capture Digga alive when he saw his expression. However, Digga calmed down immediately and explained himself in a hurry. Don't worry, I didn't see anything. This time, Qianlai was the one who was caught off guard. Digga immediately elaborated. If I were one of these Abyss Devils, then maybe I would have been rewarded by local lords of the Abyss for reporting you. But I'm different from them. Qianlai didn't take action immediately. Instead, he probed the space surrounding Digga carefully with his soul. If Digga was trying to stall for time and send out a message, he would catch it immediately, especially since they were so close to each other. If that was the case, he would summon the wraiths and phantoms in the Nether River and kill Digga instantly just like before. Honestly, my status is almost the same as yours. Digga spread his hands and said dejectedly, I was already disobeying orders when I left Yellow Springs Purgatory for the Origin world. If I had managed to obtain the Origin Crystal for myself and become the creator of the Flaming Sun Abyss, then I'm sure that my father wouldn't have minded my disobedience. On the contrary, he would even announce to the world that I'm a worthy descendant of his. Our father has hundreds of children, but only 3 of us have ever been recognized by him. If I had managed to obtain the Origin Crystal and become an Abyss creator, I'm 100% certain that I'd have become the 4th person to be recognized by him. Unfortunately, I failed in my attempt. Naturally, a failure must accept the consequences of having failed. So to this day, I'm still being punished for having disobeyed his orders. A permanent exile from Yellow Springs Purgatory. As long as I'm here, anyone who knows who I am in this purgatory can kill me anytime they want. Therefore, my situation is actually the same as yours. Qianlai asked solemnly, Then why did you even come back? Digga smiled bitterly as he answered, This is still my home, you know? Besides enemies, I have people I care about here. The reason I came back is so that I can take out some of my enemies and do something for my people after I had ascended to rank 8 at 9 Hell's Purgatory. You were at 9 Hell's Purgatory before you came here? Asked Qianlai while inhaling deeply. Amen. Digga actually relaxed a little after seeing the expression on his face. He nodded and said, It's all thanks to Sister Ling. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to ascend to rank 8 Bloodline this quickly. How is she doing? Asked Qianlai while pretending to be calm. Digga stared at him seriously before smiling genuinely. She's doing very well in 9 Hell's Purgatory. Unlike me, she had awakened the Soul Hell, the 9 Hells Monarch's most important bloodline ability. Not only is she officially recognized by the 9 Hells Monarch, she is cherished greatly by many powerful lords and great lords of the Abyss as well. Moreover, her strength had grown tremendously in just a short time, and barring any unexpected incidents, she is well on her way to become the 9 Hells Monarch's only successor. The Abyss Devils who had gone to 9 Hell's Purgatory with her have become her followers. She is strong, and she has a powerful force under her command. She's strong and also a hard worker. The limelight rightfully belongs to her. My situation and hers are as far apart as heaven and earth. Honestly, if I didn't have people I can't just leave behind here, I would never return to Yellow Springs Purgatory. I would just stay at 9 Hell's Purgatory and work for her. Digga ended his story with a sigh. Finally, Songyi and the others had made it across the Nether River and gathered around them. Qianlai, this guy's an Abyss Devil, reminded Mia softly. She had never gone to the origin world before, so she had no idea what kind of relationship they shared. However, her reason told her that every abyss devil in Yellow Springs Purgatory was probably their enemy. That was why she couldn't understand why Qianlai had left a threat like this alive after killing every abyss devil within the vicinity. We're heading towards the abyss passageway. Since you came here all the way from Nine Hells Purgatory, you probably know where it is, right? Asked Qianlai. Hey, I'm talking to you, complained Mia in dissatisfaction. Qianlai frowned at that and shot her a glance. Mia immediately shut up and kept quiet. It wasn't because she was intimidated by Qianlai. It was because she recalled that they were in the 8 purgatories, scariest level of the entire abyss, and not God realm. In the purgatory, everything they were proud of was their weakness and potential cause of death. Every abyss devil would try to kill them the moment they were exposed. Moreover, Qianlai had successfully killed all the abyss devils around the Nether River and helped them to cross the Nether River unexposed. This meant that both his individual strength and value far exceeded theirs. Therefore, Qianlai was the real leader of their squad. In the past, she was the indisputable leader of her squad in the Profound Ice family. She knew just how important it was for a leader to hold authority. That was why she decided to stay silent. Qianlai only turned his attention back to Digga after Mia had shut up. I wouldn't suggest you to head to the abyss passageway right now, said Digga seriously. Why? Qianlai couldn't think of a reason. Even if you make a beeline to the abyss passageway right now, you still won't be able to leave this purgatory. Digga pointed at the Nether River and explained, the barrier around the Nether River disappears for 15 minutes every 1 millennium or so. During this period, all low-rank abyss devils are given the opportunity to cross over from low-level hunting grounds to high-level hunting grounds. The Nether River isn't something that's unique to the Yellow Springs Purgatory. It is a long river that connects all 8 purgatories together, so this barrier phenomenon is the same in all other purgatories as well. Once 15 minutes have passed, the abyss passageway at the 8 purgatories will automatically be closed for an entire year. During this time, no one can use the abyss passageway to travel to other places or even the 100 abyss. That is why I had rushed back to the Yellow Springs Purgatory. I didn't want to have to wait for another year to come home. Digga's detailed explanation came to an end here. Everyone wore heavy looks on their faces after hearing Digga's explanation. They felt that their chance of survival was literally slipping through their grasp. The 8 purgatories' entrances to the abyss passageway were closed for an entire year after the Nether River's barrier had fallen for 15 minutes. This meant that they were stuck in the Yellow Springs Purgatory for a year at minimum. If they were all abyss devils, then surviving a year in the Yellow Springs Purgatory wouldn't be too much trouble. However, they were God race clansmen. It was nearly impossible to remain hidden in their enemy's territory for an entire year. Are you sure that the abyss passageway's closing is related to the Nether River's barrier? Asked Qianlai heavily. To be honest, I'm not sure if there's a connection between the two. All I know is that this was the way it was since I was born in Yellow Springs Purgatory. Digga looked at them with odd eyes before asking, speaking of which, how on earth did you guys come here in the first place? And how did you appear on the other side of the Nether River? Instead of answering Digga's question, Qianlai looked at the God Race clansmen before asking, what is our next move? However, Song Yi and the others simply shook their heads in silence. Regardless, my advice to you is to leave this place as soon as you can. Digga hesitated for a moment before saying, do you know who that rank 8 abyss devil you killed on the other side of the Nether River was? Can you tell me? Asked Qianlai curiously. His name is Lamont, and he's Dabinet's younger brother. 2,000 years ago, Dabinet had forbidden Lamont from crossing the Nether River because his bloodline was only rank 6 at the time. Digga said seriously. Dabinet became extremely famous after he crossed over to this part of the land, and he is currently the Lord of the Abyss with the highest chance of ascending to rank 10. From what I heard, Dabinet knew that his younger brother was going to cross the Nether River, but he didn't arrange anything in particular to help him. Do you know why? Qianlai shook his head. Dabinet knew that there'd be 3 rank 8 abyss devils interfering with the crossing, but he still didn't take action because he was confident in his younger brother's strength, explained Digga. But what does that have to do with me? asked Qianlai in confusion. Dabinet didn't do anything because he knew his younger brother would survive the crossing. But then you appeared out of nowhere and killed him yourself. Diga smiled bitterly at Qianlai. You're saying that he'll hunt me down? Qianlai looked extraordinarily pale when he said this. Dabinet's abyss devils will probably be showing up very soon. There are two reasons why Dabinet had chosen not to interfere with his younger brother's crossing. 1. He's confident in his younger brother's abilities. 2. He's letting his younger brother build up his own fame and momentum. Diga sighed once before continuing. You had disrupted Dabinet's plan and killed his younger brother. There's no way he'd let you go. Moreover, you're accompanied by a group of God race clansmen. The moment his subordinates show up and discover you, they will attempt to kill you, your friends, and even me. Dabinet's subordinates are much stronger than the guys you just killed, said Diga seriously. Suddenly, Qianlai noticed that the dark light in the fourth space of the soul-suppressing orb had stopped blinking. He immediately realized that the barrier surrounding the Nether River had returned to normal. It would appear that he wouldn't be able to borrow the power of the wraiths and the phantoms to eliminate his problems by force. If you wish to survive, you cannot allow his subordinates to see them no matter what. Diga pointed at the God race clansmen. In that case, you lead the way, declared Qianlai. Diga's expression looked a little strange, but he ultimately agreed to Qianlai's demand and said, Come with me. He started flying towards a particular direction. Mia looked like she wanted to say something. It was obvious that she didn't trust the abyss devil named Diga. That was why she couldn't hold herself back from reminding Qianlai after Diga had flown far enough away from them. We're completely unfamiliar with Yellow Springs Purgatory, and we have no choice but to stay here for an entire year. We need a guide, even if this guide is an abyss devil himself. It's a gamble we must make, explained Qianlai impatiently before flying after Diga. He's right. Song Yi threw down one line and followed behind Qianlai immediately. Gan Xing and Lu Yong didn't even bother to say anything. Even Xian Luo said after a moment of hesitation, He's right most of the time. After that, he flew after Qianlai as well. Bastards! You're all bastards! Swore Mia before taking to the sky. An hour later, a high-rank abyss devil leading 5 powerful rank 8 abyss devils suddenly appeared where Qianlai and the others were. It's Kappa's dead body. The high-rank abyss devil stared coldly at the 3 dead abyss devils on the ground. There was no real emotion behind his eyes. It would appear that Kappas and his brothers meant nothing to him, not even if they were the direct descendants of the Yellow Springs monarch. He didn't concern himself with their life or death. There are no Nether River crossers. There aren't even any surviving abyss devils. He looked to the other side of the Nether River before turning pale suddenly. The Lord's younger brother is dead. Lamont is dead on the other side of the Nether River. How is that possible? Lamont was already a strong abyss devil even 2 millennia ago, when the 5 of us came over with our Lord. A giant abyss devil with a single horn on his head shouted. Those 3 fellows may be strong enough to wound Lamont, but there's no way they can kill him, no matter what. Lamont should be alive and well with us, not dead on the other side of the Nether River. Something's not right. Everyone's dead. Not only is Kappas dead, those 3 rank 8 abyss devils are dead on the other side of the Nether River as well. The high-rank abyss devil observed his surroundings carefully before saying, Someone left this place alive. This survivor is probably the killer of Lamont. He sucked in a deep breath before sensing his surroundings with his unique bloodline ability. Then, he pointed at a direction and said, They're headed over there. The 6 abyss devils soared into the sky and flew straight down the direction Qianlai, Diga, and the God race clansmen had escaped to.